world.
I don't know.
I've just seen the giant.
You've never seen him before that?
No.
Okay, he looked like... Okay, I'll use Mark as an example. He was as small as Mark with the same amount of hair.
Oh, he's pretty
and then
tall.
He got as big as, like, Gallagher. Or bigger than Gallagher.
Yeah, well, people hate on him. He is somewhat funny sometimes. But
Yeah,
like,
sometimes.
He was known for, like, prop comedy. Really stupid jokes. Like, even kids could laugh at that shit.
Kind of.
Joe Rogan's on a whole another level.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's on a whole nother level. It was just that...
Joe Rogan's a legitimate comic. Not that Carrot Top isn't, but Joe Rogan is probably I would think, is a more respected comic.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm not the biggest fan of Carrot Top at all. It was just that body, that transformation overnight.
Yeah.
Like Chuck Norris. Chuck
From
Norris
a skinny
got
little
old.
ginger kid to a fucking
Yeah,
like,
he went from
fighter.
skinny, like Jinder Mahal. But Chuck Norris, for me, got old because I only knew Chuck Norris. I knew him from his movies, but I knew Chuck Norris from his Bowflex commercials.
Oh, my God.
So when Chuck Norris Bowflex commercial came out, 78-year-old Chuck Norris, like, Bowflex.
Gotta get the Bowflex, man. Like freaking Macho Man. You gotta get it, man. The Bowflex. What are you doing on there? I'm kind of scared of you,
I don't
man.
remember him getting that intense in those
Oh, no,
commercials.
he got intense. Especially
He was with like a hot ass girl in those.
Yeah,
that was his
commercials,
wife.
Too. That was his wife.
Yeah, dude, that was.
I thought it was like a well-known suit, like Christy Brinkley or something.
Yeah,
She's
that's
not
what I
married to
thought.
Christy Brinkley.
I didn't think he
I thought it
was.
was his
I thought
wife.
she was just a lady
Didn't
that
it say
did.
it was his wife?
His wife might have been in it at one point, but I
Yeah.
think it was like two famous people, Chuck Norris and then like Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, because the
somebody
lady
like that.
didn't get old when Chuck Norris got old in the commercial. Like the lady stayed young. I'm pretty sure.
Chuck Norris doesn't get old.
No,
apparently.
he doesn't.
Not yet, anyway.
Still roundhousing.
He can still beat ass.
Yeah. Yes, Chuck Norris can still beat ass.
Well, I guess before we get too into it, we should introduce ourselves. Actually, first off, I want to go ahead and say we have our first sponsor.
It's for a sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
okay.
Fleshlight.
Nice.
Yep. Fuck it. Woo! No, obviously
fuck it.
that's not real. I just thought that would be funny to do. We should do more fake sponsorships.
We should.
We should like get a
I
little
like
more
that.
clever with
Like
it.
we should do like fake commercials. Like I thought of like a Penis Head Incorporated. Like we're here to pump up your business, and it's like the Eiffel, like a small business, and then it moves up to like the like Washington Monument.
Damn.
For
Yeah.
95-year-olds?
Oh, jeez.
But yes, this is the Buncha Podheads Podcast number 3? Number two, because we did.
Technically number 3 because of 00.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have our first guest, the person we specifically wanted to be our first guest.
Yeah, I nailed him. Whale Hill.
None other than Hell Miguel himself. Miguel, ladies and gentlemen.
Say something for the audio people.
Yeah, yeah.
Say hi.
I'm Miguel.
Everyone's been waiting for me, apparently. They were saying that they're going to get me on here, so I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Hill.
I'm here.
I am
You're
here.
used to it. No, not that. I
No.
just
He is a
I wasn't
steer.
speaking for Miguel. I was just
He is a steer,
Speaking.
though. Hill.
hail.
Hill.
Whale hail.
Whale Hill. Well, I am not Whale Hill Jesse, but you can call me Whale Hill Jesse for this episode.
No, yeah, you know us, Mark
Yeah.
and Jesse, Bunch of Podheads
Bunch of
Podcast.
Podheads.
But our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going, Miguel?
Going pretty good.
I apologize if there's any audio issues with this. I'm now noticing that that didn't pick you up at all.
Oh, well, hell.
Maybe you're just soft-spoken, Miggy.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
There you go. We
There-
got you back now.
Is that 1,
There
2,
we
1,
go.
2, 3, 4,
There we
3, 4,
go.
5, 6,
Good stuff.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, we don't need the sound testing.
Oh,
We're live. We're live, baby.
Yeah,
Live
no,
in
you don't got to
charge.
count all the way to 48 again.
I was going to count to 100, but okay.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Working
Yeah?
a lot. Fun times.
So
Yeah.
same old, same old?
Yeah, working. Finally get my car stuff working on. Going along.
Yeah?
Finally.
I thought I'd never see the day. I thought
Right,
you'd be
right.
walking to and
Awesome,
fro
man.
all the time.
He walked here.
I
Hell.
thought that too.
Oh, you're one step ahead of me, then, sir, because I'm not. Anyway, I don't drive either, so.
It's going.
But you're changing that. Cool.
Finally. I kind of dragged it out a little too long, but now I realize now I kind of should probably get my license. I got a car, and
you got one already?
No, yeah, I've been having one for like 3 years now.
Wow, you and your brother both just buying up shit.
Right, that's what I said.
He bought didn't he buy like a moped or something?
Yeah. Not gonna say he crashed it already, but you know.
Not gonna say that.
Yeah, that's not a story.
He was just doing 40 in the parking lot.
No 40. Dang. I don't think he would be alive.
Skin like 40. Half of his body's missing.
No,
he's like the Terminator at work now. He's just
Jesus. He's gonna start fucking. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I guess just make a hybrid of himself and his vehicles and be a cyborg.
That's why he's buying up all these vehicles, so he can just keep adding parts to himself. He's actually part moped and Ranger now.
Jesus.
Yeah, he has the body of a Ranger, like a Minotaur.
I like
drives around.
Damn, we need to get him on the
podcast. Yeah. I tried to nail him, but he couldn't walk through the front door.
No, but his mark legit looks like a Nike logo.
Does it?
Really?
Yeah. Not even joking. Like, it goes like that. And then up. Like this Nike logo. I'm like, oh, they told me to get it, so I did it.
Damn.
I love it.
Well, hell.
Oh,
wow. That actually has a purpose, this episode.
It does.
Yeah, that's Miguel, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I have quite a few things to talk about this episode. I don't know about you.
Did you want to start it with your topics, or did you want to start with... so I feel like... what I'm talking about is going to be a decent chunk.
I gotcha. My topics will probably move a lot faster.
Okay.
So like I'll probably just be like boom, boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotcha. I guess first off, I want to show you a video that I have so many questions about.
Okay.
You're gonna laugh when you see it, but it's ridiculous.
All right.
I don't know. You might have already saw this going around, but.
Is this going to be a video you can put up on the podcast so people can see, or is this going to be...
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Okay.
Do you see what happened there? It'll keep showing it.
Did you
oh, dude, yeah, I seen that. I'm like, oh, Savage Ant.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Dude,
I can't.
Dude, what?
This raised so many questions for me.
Sparta! And then he goes down.
Yeah, like, I want to know... I want to see what happened after this, and I want to see what happened before it.
Bro.
Because I mean, to that point.
Is this a fight?
Bro,
did he just try to murder
that's
another
not a fight.
ant?
He won.
Bro, this is a mafia hit. Like, this is some ant was in a bar, and he was like, look, that black ant over... He was like, yeah, the one that looks exactly like me. He's like, yeah, go get him.
For the people who can't see it, for the audio listeners, this was a video of... excuse me. Of an ant, a black carpenter ant, throwing another ant off of, like, a countertop. Now, my questions are, what happened before and what happened after? Was this like some sort of strategy? Because I know ants are strong as fuck, and ants can fall like probably a lot, like what is to them like hundreds of feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And survive and shit. So was this just him like, all right, you got to get down there and get help? And he's throwing this guy, or did they get in like a fight, like a little ant antenna argument?
Why wouldn't they just walk down the wall? Like, can't ants
True.
just walk down the wall?
Yeah, so that would
like him throwing him off there
I
because he like literally throws him into a pit.
Yeah, well,
Like
I
it's like
thought
a little scoop.
I thought he threw him down into like an open drawer, but I think like if you watch, I think at the end he actually lands on like top of this drawer.
Oh yeah,
Because I think he's like right here.
that's a whole table. I think.
See that?
I think that's a workbench.
Okay.
And like the bottom that you're seeing right there is just the opening of the workbench. Yeah, he literally threw him on the floor, bro.
But like, or whatever this is right there, that because
whatever that
there's
is.
like a little black spot, but that little black spot ain't moving, so I don't know if that's the ant
I love
or
the dudes.
Oh my.
yeah, like
Every time the ant hits, it makes me feel like that's the noise of
He's
the
like he didn't know what to. He's like, he's carrying this fucking ant, and then he throws him off. He's like, "Fuck you!" Like, is this a fuck you, or is this a?
Oh, that's yeah. I can tell you what that is.
Is that the snake eating the elephant?
That's
Probably
that's the father ant telling you better get the fuck out, man.
I don't know.
That's the father ant telling that boyfriend she brings home. Nah, man, you out. You no good. No. See, or that's the husband catching that slide action.
That's
You know,
Okay, yeah.
that ant
maybe.
side. He
That's
said,
possible.
"Not today," and you're gone.
Like, is this like the
I
Ants
didn't think
movie?
about that.
Like, they don't have any Judge, Jury, Executioner. You're just all in one. This
That's
is
the
Judge
Punisher.
Dredd Ants. Like,
Well, this is a whole nother world.
yeah, this
We
is.
don't. We have no idea what it could have been.
Because
They
this
could
is
have.
almost not microscopic, but
They
this is on
begin-
another level.
They
This
could be
could be
getting
some issue
food.
we can't even wrap our head around.
They can be somehow getting water, but that looks like he
Like, I
kind of
wanna
lifted
see-
up and then threw him.
I want to see the
I'm
video of
killing
him
you.
dropping the spider web down and like helping his buddy back up
Dun,
with the
dun,
like piece
dun,
of bread
dun,
or something that was
Yeah.
on the floor.
I want to see a sequel.
Yeah,
I want to see a sequel to this video.
that's what I want to say. That leaves us. That does leave you with so many. I've never seen that.
They should have put a giant question mark right in the middle.
Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge is who uploaded it. You see that?
Is that real Samsung or is that just their name?
I don't know. Well, what?
that's
There's
If
no
that's
logo
real
or anything.
Samsung, man, they're just trying to get your money.
Oh, you know what it is? They probably registered on their Samsung Galaxy 7S Edge, and that was like the default name they gave them or something.
Okay,
I don't know.
Interesting.
Is that
It's
they're
got
just
it's
trying
got
to get more
30
people to go on there?
30,000 views.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, that sucker's getting
31.
popular. That was like,
How many likes does he have?
I think he came out like 2 days ago.
166, 9 dislikes.
Wow.
Like,
Nine
Who
dis-
those are those
dislikes
social.
the video?
It's like the social justice people that feel like they have to take
Like,
a
nah, this is stupid. Why
Somebody-
do people like this so much?
yeah, like a PETA
Come
member.
on.
Ants
Like-
have rights too.
Ants life matter.
Well, I mean, I don't think anything should die for no reason.
No, but it's another ant dropping another ant
But
off.
yeah,
It's interesting.
This is
Throwing
nature.
him off.
That's like you don't stop a fucking cat from eating a mouse or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Or you don't like, you know what I mean? You don't try to save a fly out of a spider
That wasn't
web.
a video of him squishing the ant. That was science. Like, scientists need to come in here and find out why ants are because I've
Yeah.
never seen that before. And I've watched Ants Canada. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he has tons and tons of like ant things built up, and ants are walking through, and it's like a hamster cage, all connected together with all these ants. And I've never seen an ant like human sacrifice another ant off the top of his building.
Shit, no.
Like, I've seen like hundreds of
No.
ants, and I've never seen that happen before.
Well, it makes me wonder: is this like a more is this a more intelligent ant than all the other ants?
Yeah, like is this one
Like, has he
taking over?
discovered some shit? Did he just have an existential crisis where he's like, "Oh my God, we're fucking ants"? And look,
Maybe that is what stopped Yellowstone Park volcano right there.
That is.
oh shit,
That's
maybe.
the Men in Black
that
stuff right there,
stopped it
Miggy.
right there. We don't even know it.
He dropped the ant in Yellowstone.
That action right there, that's just caused everything to cool down.
Like-
Yellowstone.
I don't know how recent it was, but this season of Rick and Morty, there was an episode in which
Oh, don't
Morty was able to. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
never
don't
mind.
say it. I'm waiting until halfway through to watch the whole season.
See, I haven't.
Oh, it's over halfway through.
Is
I'm
it really?
thinking. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
go-
like 8
go on then,
episodes
move
out
on.
now.
Oh hell.
I'll watch it anyways. Never mind. Go
Oh,
on.
are you for real?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this episode has a lot to it, but like this was just a small part of the episode.
Yeah.
But Rick and Morty was able to, or Morty put on this something that made him able to hear the squirrels talk, and it turned out that the squirrels were
Seen
like
the
running the
commercial,
world. They were talking like they were the Illuminati and shit. Like the squirrels were the Illuminati.
Okay.
Rick
And
tells him.
yeah.
Dude, that's intense. See, I've never seen Rick and Morty.
You've never seen Rick and Morty?
No.
Neither is my brother.
I'm sorry, guys. This is over for me. Miguel took over. I'm gonna get out of here.
I've been trying to get my brother to watch it for fucking ever.
See, my problem is I don't have cable. So, like we've talked about before, there's no discovery of new things.
You don't got
So, for
little
me to
kids.
actually watch Rick and Morty, I tried watching a live stream on YouTube that was a 24-hour Rick and Morty live stream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. And it kept cutting off. Every like 10 seconds, it kept cutting it off.
They
And
stopped
I'm
it
like,
on YouTube.
and I'm like, this has never happened with any other live stream. Like I was able to watch Family Guy 24 hours a day and
Yeah,
all this
there's-
other stuff. But Rick and Morty, for some reason, they're so good on that one.
Because it's really popular right now.
That's
They
crazy.
want it cut off.
Yeah, like
They
every
want
10
anyone
seconds
to
got
know.
cut off, so I couldn't watch it. But there was an episode on Facebook that I watched. It was the Pickle Rick.
Pickle
Rick!
Well, I know on Adult Swim you can watch either. I don't know if it's just the first 2 episodes of the season,
Okay.
or if it's one of those things where, like, as time goes on, it unlocks and you can watch this episode 2 or this episode 2. But
Okay.
I haven't gone back to watch any more. But I know I was able to watch the first 2 episodes of this season on Adult
I
Swim.
just gotta stop being a piece of shit and get a computer. That's all it boils down to. Cause everything you need.
That'll take
eBay,
care of
man.
it.
Yeah. eBay.
Or you can get one of those like Amazon Fire Sticks, but I think they're breaking down on that shit too.
I
now.
heard the Fire Sticks are becoming so illegal that if you get caught with one, you could get a fine. Like
I don't know how-
arrested or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it was ever anybody was ever legally allowed to do it in the
They're
first
not.
place.
They're not. It was just you can't stop them. You can't stop someone from buying your product and hacking it and selling it to somebody else.
It's not the Kodi app that's doing it, and it's not the Fire Stick itself that's doing it. It's just people creating add-ons for the Kodi app that is compatible with the Fire Stick.
Okay, because I heard it was like in the settings, and it was just a code that just opened up literally everything.
Yeah, it just puts all the websites together, just like the websites you go to on
to where you have
the internet,
10 or 15
like
different ones.
PrimeWire or what's the one that a lot of Couch Tuner, shit like that. It's just like it takes all of those and puts them into one big app, so it'll search all of those things.
Yeah.
So it pretty much has everything. Because if this one doesn't have it, this one does.
Drop a fine on that sucker.
Yeah, right.
They get shut down all the time.
It's all free.
But
like you're able to, like, the fight comes out, that $100 McGregor fight, people were streaming that. I heard it got shut down 4 times, and people started watching it in Germany.
You know how I watched the fight?
Huh.
I know we were gonna wait till the next day, but we ended up not doing it anyway.
Ended up not doing it.
But I wasn't watching it, even though like I was refreshing every fucking second to see results, because I was just like, man, this is something.
Yeah.
But my buddy, actually, he worked at Marianne's, the one on Tusk. His name is Kyle. I grew up with that kid. I used to like babysit him and shit. But he actually was at like a bar or something watching it, and somebody was projecting it on a wall, and he just set up his phone on Facebook Live and let it go.
Dude, that's awesome. I like
but
that.
it was gone the next day.
Oh,
but I
for
watched
sure.
it. I watched the whole fucking thing.
Wow.
They just didn't pick up on it. I probably shouldn't have used his name. Maybe I'll block that out.
5 different Instagram
right.
posts I was trying to get on, adding them as friends. I'm like, come on, stop blocking them. I want to watch the fight.
Yeah, drunk people were like walking in front and shit, and like,
dude, there was so many posts. It was like fight starts in 15 minutes, and you get up until the fight's about to start, and it would shut out.
Yeah,
it would shut. They would give you all the other fights and everything, and then it would shut down.
You know what I think that is? I don't think they don't get cut off.
Yeah,
because most of the times, like, I'll see things popping up like tonight's Raw streaming live or whatever.
Yeah,
and Raw isn't even on yet. But like it'll be showing like a really zoomed in, cropped version of last week's episode or something, and then right when Raw's about to start, it'll stop, just like you guys are talking, pretty much. What I think it is they're getting all those views real quick before it starts, duping all those people, getting thousands and thousands of views, making a couple bucks on it.
Yep.
Because people will sit there and wait and watch last week, like a cropped version of last week's Raw, and let all these ads pop up in between.
Cut it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that as long as they make it through the ad revenue right there. They don't even have to watch your whole video anymore. As long as they make it through the ad.
What it is it's I think if it's 30 seconds or longer, you make money off of it. If they sit through the ad, that's why, or maybe it's 10. Okay. I don't know. I know, because I read a little bit about it, but I know that you also get money just for them viewing the ad or seeing the ad, even if it's like a banner down there. You get even more money, I think, if they click on it, and if they actually participate in whatever this thing is advertising or buy something from this website, you make money off that too.
So that'd be awesome.
Just like we could basically create our own sponsorship from Amazon if we wanted to.
Okay.
Because I could sign up to have this link or whatever that we can put on our blog for the podcast or the website or the Facebook page or something, so that if they click that link and then shop on Amazon, since they click that link through us, we make a little bit of money off it because we got them there.
Interesting.
And if they buy more stuff, we make a little bit. You know what I mean?
I know you could do that a lot with like companies want you to do that now. Like it's as long as they click your link. That's how people are making money. All that stuff that's popping up promoted, like want to go to school or want to buy something off, like this product is so much, you click on it.
Yep.
And just because you follow just like an app, just because you follow their link, now they're getting paid for that because you download it. Like sometimes you think it's a hack. You're like, why did it take me to the page? But it's just you follow their link thing. There's actually a thing I might get into that you could do work at home and do that. Like you could make bank from stuff like that. Yeah, dude.
I believe
it's
it.
A lot of marketing.
That's what all those like take surveys and do this bullshit, because that's all the stuff nobody does. Like every time you go to Taco Bell, they give you a little piece of paper in your bag that says you could win $1,000 every week just by filling out this survey. And nobody fucking does that. No one.
And you do sometimes. Like I did it twice, and I was like,
only time
it instantly tells you didn't win, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
And it instantly doesn't make you want to do it ever again.
Only time I get one of those boxes or something that has a code to win an Xbox or something, I always do that.
Oh yeah,
like,
to try to win something big.
2 years ago,
but I mean,
a whole bunch of people want. So many people want Xbox and PlayStation 1.
But $1,000 is big. You could buy a fucking Xbox with it. You could buy 2 of them.
Yeah.
With $1,000. So why don't people do that more often? Because that's like a constant thing they do.
Oh yeah, it's every day. I think.
And like, is it every day you
I
win
think so.
1,000?
Every time. I think you can do 1 code a day.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So
you buy a
essentially,
$5 box every day until you win.
well, no, that's for the Xbox. I'm talking about the $1,000 thing. That happens every single day of the year, no matter
the
what. The
$1,000
Xbox
thing.
thing
Okay.
only happens when they do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
The Xbox. I know what you're talking about now.
But
The under
essentially,
receipt.
if you eat Taco Bell all the fucking time, you would have
There's
a
a
really
lot of
good
people that
shot.
do.
Yeah, a really good shot at winning
Right.
without. I mean, you can make that a job, really. Like, unless there's so many times you could do it. But if you're consistently doing that, and only a certain percentage of the population are actually fucking doing those surveys.
Right. Like you're 1 in 256,000
It's
out
just-
of the world.
Yeah,
Because Taco Bell's everywhere.
which I mean, it's still a lot, but it's not
except
6
for
billion
Hawaii
people.
and Canada or wherever they, for some reason, is not an actual country that's recognized by any of those like services. It's like except for Hawaii, and
It's like
Canada,
the same
but everybody
way.
else is cool.
Same way as McDonald's. Like when I used to work for them, Monopoly crap. Dude, a lot of people they're like, oh well, I got everything. I'm just gonna throw it away.
Yeah,
They
with the
just
little
throw
tabs
away
and stuff.
all those ones. Like easily one of those could be the what was it, Reading Rainbow, or heck, it was one of the pieces that you needed, and they're like, I don't care, I'm not gonna get it. They just throw the box away, easily not peeled.
Shit.
And
Hell.
imagine,
Yeah,
I don't even know. I can't even remember how much it was before the grand prize. And people just throwing away. Like, I'm not going to win. Throwing away. I'm not going to win.
So
That's
what
ridiculous.
if you sat behind how do they stop people from sitting behind the counter and just peeling?
Cameras.
Well, that answered that real
And
quick.
they have rules and regulation. Like, their rule is if you're employed, you can't win. If your family wins, they can't win.
Oh, really?
The next
That
relative,
sucks.
they can't win.
That's
That
bullshit.
sucks. If you could prove, like, receipt-wise that you went
But-
in there and bought McDonald's.
Well,
that,
I mean,
there
I
shouldn't
But
be
they
any
can go
benefit
back
from
and
that.
say, "Oh, you got it
No.
from him because he's employed by McDonald's."
I
Yeah.
understand
But it says your
why.
name on the receipt.
But it
Why
is,
they
yeah,
would-
it's total bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because
But
you
yeah,
could be
'cause-
living all the way down in California. You're in Ohio.
I mean,
That
fuck.
makes no sense.
How do I know if my cousin's in like Missouri or something working
Yeah.
at McDonald's?
Australia.
Yeah, like
It makes no
anywhere.
sense.
I mean, I don't have
And
any
you're
people
buying a
in
McDouble
Australia,
in Ohio,
but
and all of a sudden you pull off the $1 million tab, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, no, you can't win.
Yeah.
You're Thomas,
because they're
no, you
they're
can't win.
completely different between worlds too. Like the tickets are different between like I said Australia and United States. So it wouldn't make any sense
yeah.
at that point because you'll be having like faulty tickets. You'll say, "Oh, you didn't get that. You got from freaking North Canton, Ohio,
Well,
somewhere."
not only that, like, who's to say that you actually fucking cheated? Like, fuck you. I
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
cheat. I won, motherfucker.
I fucking put my $5 in here and bought
Exactly.
2 fucking large fries. Should
I mean-
1 large fry for $5.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts.
But I did see one time this one girl. Dude, she was literally digging in trash. She works for the place. She was digging inside there, trying to say that like someone, her relatives, she's gonna sell them, not sell them, mail them to them, and then if they win, she's gonna get part of the money. I'm like,
See,
okay, good luck. She would legit dig through the trash, grab the ones that weren't peeled, and whatever ones that were just in the bags.
See, the way that's still that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, I understand.
What's
like,
the chances? But then you think about like, I guess if you're desperate for money,
Yeah.
you are working at McDonald's. They're not really doing
Well,
you well. And blah 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 blah.
The solution to that whole problem is just change the system.
Yeah.
I mean, don't make it printed on the cup or on the box or something.
No.
Do it like Taco Bell. Like, put a code on it.
Oh, they're going to
Or
have to.
you peel the thing off and there's nothing but a code there. It doesn't say sorry you lost or you won. There's just a code there. So that like every time you actually use this cup or this box or whatever, you have to scan it 1st so that it's not even activated. It can't be a winner if it wasn't scanned.
QR code.
Yeah,
That's
just
where
like when you buy
they're
like a
gonna
straight
have to
talk
because-
phone card or
Dude,
something.
dude, that's a lot of plastic waste. And no one's. What I heard from the people that still works there, no one's not.
Arms of an angel. Sorry.
No, that's animals.
I felt like we were
Hello,
having a Sarah
Walter.
McLachlan moment.
He is assed
But
out.
like I was saying, dude, man, like no one's not doing it anymore because they have to literally peel it off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, I gotta peel off the win.
Well, see, I'm not complaining about because that's more fun to me. was like, ooh, it's a mystery.
Well, if you think about it, that'll be saving. Well, if corporate McDonald's about it, that'll be saving a lot of money, and not have to be shipping all those out and then throwing a crap load of them away.
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying.
And it doesn't help they're going out of business pretty much.
Oh, yeah, McDonald's is going down.
Yeah, it's gonna
there's more Subways now than there is McDonald's.
36 stores every year.
It's gonna be Taco Bell in the future.
Yeah, it's like a couple thousand over like the next however many years or whatever.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Damn, did you guys see that movie, The Founder?
Yes, I was actually just about to say that. Have you seen it?
I know
what it is though.
Yeah, dude, I was going to. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I work there. I already know what the crap's about. And I'm like, it looks
the way they put that movie together, I love it.
This is a whole other side. Like this really has nothing to do with McDonald's. It's about the guy who
founded it.
Well, no.
Not even the guy that founded
the guy who stole it from the McDonald's.
Oh, really?
The guy that bought it.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, he was a milkshake salesman.
Even buy it. I don't want to spoil it because it's a great movie. Like it's probably it's in my top 3 of like 2016 or whenever it came out. Yeah, dude, it was really good.
I think it just got added to Netflix because I just seen it recently. It's really good.
Well, the key is this won't really spoil it because you could read this anywhere if you look it up. But the thing is it's not about selling cheeseburgers. It's about real estate. That you don't make money in selling cheeseburgers. You make money in owning the property that the McDonald's is on. You watch the movie, dude, and you'll know.
I can totally get that already.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and it's funny if you think about it. Since they're all closing, like that's failing now. That is failing, and it's not because he did anything wrong or the system's broken. It's because it's garbage.
Yeah, it is.
People are finally like, wait, you mean a Big Mac's not good for me?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There was, I think she was 16 years old. Girl died because her parents allowed her to eat nothing but chicken McNuggets since the age of 2. What? Yes, and she died at the age of 16.
Dude, that is crazy.
I'm not sure what the medical cause was that they diagnosed it as, but it was due to eating nothing but chicken fucking nuggets.
High blood pressure.
I mean, obviously she had to have been like drinking something too, like water. Or I don't know if she was drinking. So I mean, if she eats chicken nuggets every day, I'm sure she's not drinking healthy
it's like one
shit.
Of those freaky eater episodes.
But the weird thing was the girl, when they showed the picture of her, she wasn't like fat. She wasn't like obese.
Yeah, like she would think she would be eating chicken nuggets her whole life.
Well, that's the thing. She's not getting any substance. She must have died from malnutrition. You know what I mean? She's not getting any substance from that. So obviously she's not going to get fat.
Yeah, because you're getting 60% made up stuff, and then 40% whatever else is beef waste.
Yeah,
and meat waste because it's not even 100% chicken.
No,
they say it's all white meat chicken.
Filler.
Yeah, it's chicken and filler.
Because all the chicken they use probably was white
exactly.
meat
It's 40% is white meat chicken, and the 6, like you said, is filler. It might even be more.
Yeah.
Well,
the filler might even be bigger ratio now.
What I know now, they're opening out to the public that Tyson chicken crap.
Oh, I hate Tyson.
Dude, they're signing on with them. This is a big deal, and
McDonald's is?
Yeah, McDonald's
signing on with Tyson. Oh, God.
Dude, I hate
McDonald's even
more. Yeah, right?
And they're saying, oh, yeah, it's 100% now. There's nothing wrong with it. But, okay, that's 100%. That's cool. But what about the crust?
Well, not only that, but I'm fairly certain Tyson chicken isn't 100%.
Yeah, I don't think Tyson chicken
Dude, I don't buy
chicken.
It just because
steroids.
Like, all it is like breading with a little bit of chicken in it, and then a little bit of the chicken in it has like a bunch of fucking like clear gristle in it.
Yeah,
it's not even. It's gross. Every time I eat it and I bite into that shit, I'm just like, this just makes me sick, and I lose my appetite.
I just had that recently. Like I bit into my chicken sandwich, and it had like this little like watery bubble in it, like it was almost like an uncooked egg.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be fully cooked chicken that you can put in the microwave.
No thanks.
You would think that would all dry out. Like any kind of water in there would just dry out of the chicken.
Yeah, no fucking thanks.
It doesn't help that every major chicken, like big name people, they put steroids in them. They literally put so much steroids in them that the freaking chickens can't even walk.
Yeah.
And then you see...
Dude, sorry, you can go ahead.
Well, then you see the employees kicking the dang thing on YouTube or any other place. Like, so it's a double head. You're putting steroids in them. They're not living a good life. And then you kick the chicken.
It's like cloning fucking cows just to kill them and eat them.
It's
like
ridiculous.
You're creating life just to just kill it. Like that's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
It really is.
But
it's
not only
almost
that, but it's like
inhumane.
extremely. It's a cloned cow. Like, what the fuck? First of all, I don't want to eat that, but like, what are the repercussions of eating a cloned cow? Like,
well, now they're 3D printing food on top of cloning things. They're just 3D printing it. Like you can 3D print a pizza, cheese and all, and eat it.
That's like crazy. Like,
but they're doing a
particle
lot
physics
more
type
right
shit.
now with desserts. Like desserts, like a big thing right now with 3D.
Well, the desserts are easy.
Yeah.
You can
That's
when I
mainly
think of
why.
3D
You can
printing
make
of
them look
desserts, I
really
think of cotton
sweet.
candy.
when I think of 3D printing a dessert, I just think of soft served ice cream. Because basically, that's kind of what the 3D. Because it's just doing layers. So,
Ice cream.
like pooping out ice cream. It's like a 3D printer's like pooping out whatever the substance is.
I can see it.
But
3D
kinda,
chocolate pooper.
and like every time I think of soft serve, I think of that Squatty Potty commercial with the unicorn shitting out
Dude, I can't believe that was
man.
real. Like when I first seen that, I was
Yeah.
like, "What is this?"
the like. But dude, the amazing thing is that shit worked.
Yeah, it did.
Like, dude, I don't have one, but like I'll go in there and I'll take like a fucking like box or something. And I'll put it in there, and dude, it's just like, okay, here we go.
Right. I'm gonna have to get me a Squatty Potty now.
But no, I mean it's just a fucking step stool.
This was brought to you by
But-
Squatty Potty.
They make all different sizes, so I imagine you could probably just build it without a wood or like buy a step stool.
Because they say in Japan that they like nobody. We're the only ones in the world that sit
That
like
sit
that.
on the
Apparently,
toilet,
everybody
yeah.
else sits hunched up.
Oh yeah, in
Japan,
India
they
they
squat.
They just shit in the road.
Yeah.
They'll just squat right there in the road
Yeah.
and shit.
Dig a hole, Scott, fill it back up. There
Yep.
you go.
They got, I think that river going through or whatever. They always see people like washing their clothes in and bathing. They shit in there.
Right.
The
It's like,
water-
why is this getting dirtier?
I watched a documentary for a band called Horse the Band. It's called the Earth Tour 2008, and it was a 10-hour long documentary.
Jesus.
Oh, every minute of it, I love it. It's probably one of
Yeah.
my favorite documentaries ever. But it's like
It has to be 10 hours.
it's basically watching like an hour-long movie over the course of
So
like,
that's cool. I like that.
or like a
yeah.
TV show. I mean, they're like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, that's,
But,
I could dig that.
It was 8 DVDs, and they only made so many of them or something like that. But I didn't buy it. I downloaded it because they said somebody's going to put it up for download illegally anyway, so we might as well just put it up. But my point is they went to India and they talked about how there's and they even showed you, but there's literally just like a building with like a little ledge coming out with holes in the floor where they just squat and they shit in the holes, and then the holes don't go into pipes or nothing. They just go right down that river.
Yeah.
straight on down.
And then,
to the
like, you
river.
see the poop floating down the river that these people are, like, catching things or washing their clothes or have
look, a
nets
piece
in the
of
water, and then, like, whatever they're scooping up, there's also a turd next to it.
Oh, look, there's another turd. Yo, Johnny, stop crapping inside there, man. I'm trying to wash my dang clothes.
Dude, that's
But, yeah, dude.
Oh,
that's-
dude.
hilarious. He's
I
like,
forgot
there's
how
a
he
gold
got out.
chain,
Dude,
there's an iPhone, and
when
there's
I
a piece
went
of
down,
shit right there.
when I went down Mexico, they were still doing that.
Yeah?
Crapping inside a hole. Dude, it was bad.
Damn.
That's crazy. Isn't that come from like more
It's
poverty,
2017.
though? Like, isn't that
Well, that was
is that choice
back in,
or is that
05,
like
dude.
they just can't afford plumbing? Like, is that
Oh,
something
dude,
that's just
yeah.
not offered?
The house are.
Oh, yeah,
The house is mud house. You have to do your own plumbing. You have to get a contractor, and it costs a lot of money. And they don't make
So that's
anything close to
insane.
that. What we do.
Damn.
Wow.
No, I believe it. It's basically, I mean, I don't know what it's rated, but it's parts of it are definitely like a third world type situation.
That's
Luckily,
crazy.
Only my grandpa did, and my uncle was really wealthy off down there. My grandpa's house down there was pretty much like a mud house,
Shit.
but it wasn't nice, but what they can afford around them.
Dude,
Like when I think of a mud house, I think of like a swamp, like a swamp house, like swamp people house.
Oh, it's nothing like that.
See, when I
It's-
think
You're
of
just sitting on the
I
river.
think like stucco type houses. Like, I watched a video of a Mexican crew of like 10 people build a fucking house out of cement in a day. Mm-hmm. It was incredible.
That's-
they know what to do. And
it was awesome.
Those
Couldn't
houses
build a
don't
house
get-
in a week.
Those
It's-
houses,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
They're
it's
good.
pretty amazing, dude. Like, kudos.
Right.
they're
They-
all together. Shoot,
Culture,
especially
man.
now with all that, dude. That earthquake, dude. I just watched a video down there. Like they had all single file line getting rocks, water.
Shit.
Like,
Assembly
it's like
line.
thousands of people are doing that all together.
See if that
It's-
happened here. Like if we had a massive earthquake, everybody would be like, shit, bro.
Like, yeah,
No,
that's
dude, no, I
legit.
can't help
Like,
it. I'm sorry, like-
that's
Well, shit, I saw videos of the earthquake itself, and that shit was fucking crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Let alone seeing
buildings going down. It's like when a hurricane hit, dude. Buildings going down, places getting destroyed, kids, animals, anyone
and it's
around
all
the country
happening at the
dying.
same time.
Yep.
Or like one right after the
Yeah.
other.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Just
crazy.
today, aftershock 6.1.
It's the end of the fucking world, dude. So, which
It is.
brings up another topic I had. Is they're saying the world's going to end on Sunday, right?
I thought it was today.
I thought they
like
said Sunday.
this podcast might not go up because the world's supposed to end today.
I have the article, but there was, well, the
It might have got postponed. till
subject
tomorrow.
I had was in California, TV broadcasts were interrupted with like fucking crazy messages and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
Interesting.
it's on IGN. It says mysterious apocalyptic message interrupts TV broadcasts in California. Violent times will come, which is like a quote.
Was it like that? Sounds like what's his name? Something Hedrum.
Max Headroom, like
Max
they,
Headroom. That sounds like some Max Headroom stuff.
They actually reference it in the article, but it says many Californians' regularly scheduled broadcasts were interrupted Thursday morning with the strange emergency messages warning of extraterrestrial invasions and the beginning of Armageddon. The bizarre warnings aired on TVs in the Orange County area, which is actually where I was born,
Wow.
affecting Cox and Spectrum cable users, according to the Orange County Register. One video of the broadcast uploaded to YouTube includes a terrified, breathless voice saying, "The space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military establishment, particularly Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military. I'm sorry the government knows about them." Actually, they have a video. I could have just played it. Actually, I'm going to, but
Okay.
that. Well, first I'll just play it.
All right.
The space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them. I started getting.
Sounds legit.
It does.
But-
Sounds very legit.
I actually heard that a few years ago.
Okay.
That was somebody called into the AM radio show Coast to Coast with George Norrie. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
It's been on for years.
That's the
but
show
it
that
talks
comes
about
on-
like paranormal and the UFOs and stuff like that. And
That's Sunday nights at like midnight or something like that, or 1 in the
something
morning.
like that, yeah, on AM radio. Like one of
Yeah.
the few things still on AM radio. But
I
it
used
was
to know
actually
a
really
lady that
cool. I
watched
used to
that
listen
every
to it.
week.
But that was somebody that called into that many years ago.
Okay.
Not sure how many.
Because that did sound familiar.
Oh.
Like I was wondering, it was what,
It says right here.
80 something?
Gizmodo found that. Oh, because this is the article's on Gizmodo, I guess. But it says Gizmodo found that the audio comes from a call that Art Bell, the host of the conspiracy theorist themed radio show Coast to Coast AM, received in 1997 from a man claiming to be a former Area 51 employee. Now I remember that he called again, like a couple days later, and said that it was a hoax and he was just fucking around and shit.
Yeah, dude, I remember
Yeah.
that story. Yeah,
Now, but everybody speculated that
government.
it wasn't him
Yeah.
that called in. Like it didn't even really sound
Yeah, it sounded like a different
him.
person.
Like it kind of did, but it sounded very different than the guy, and he had a totally different attitude. But that first thing, the thing we just played, sounds like a distraught person who's trying to say some shit. But I mean, who knows? He could be a fucking like really good actor. People,
yeah.
I mean, who was it? Orson Welles and them fucking made the whole world think that War of the Worlds was happening back in like the 30s or some shit on
Dude,
the
that
radio.
blew my mind when I found out that they thought that was actual story.
Now, I
There's a
guess,
whole new meaning to watching the radio.
yeah.
Didn't they do like a Hey Arnold episode with that?
Not
Like
sure.
a Halloween. It wasn't like based off the whole thing, but the
Where he
like
was telling a
aliens
story or something.
yeah.
I don't
like on a
remember.
radio. They got on the radio and told
thought it
like
wasn't that,
aliens
like,
are coming.
Maybe that sounds familiar.
Wasn't that we can't go outside and they were just using their imagination deal? Kind of like how
It's-
Family Guy did with Star Wars and
I
everything.
can't remember.
Where they would start talking and it would play out what they're telling, and then it would go back and it would be like a lightning bolt would hit, and then it would stop the story for a second.
That does really ring a
I
bell.
might just be thinking of Family Guy and Star Wars, to be honest with
Could
you.
be.
I did watch a lot of Hey Arnold, but I don't remember that. I don't remember the War of the Worlds. I remember the Keanu Reeves movie, War of the Worlds. I've never seen the original.
Now, I guess this went on for longer than that. There was a couple different things that were said in the broadcast. But it said other videos of the emergency broadcast feature a different voice warning that extremely violent times will come. Redditor Smitten Kitten 77 discovered the audio came from the Christian radio program Insight for Living with Chuck Swindoll. Which, what a fucking name for somebody, Swindle. Like, that guy's not fucking shady.
Yeah, right?
It almost sounded like Hitler talking, one Cox customer told the Register. It sounded like a radio broadcast coming through the television. It's still unclear whether the messages were broadcast intentionally or by accident, but broadcast signal intrusions by pranksters aren't unheard of, even in the digital era. Most famously, still unidentified hackers hijacked TV signals in Chicago area in 1987, the year I was born, broadcasting footage of a person wearing a Max Headroom mask and a man's bare buttocks being spanked with a fly swatter. More recently, a suspect was arrested in 2013 after allegedly overlaying broadcasts in several states with emergency alerts about dead bodies rising from their graves. I remember that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
heard
this
about
zombie thing. Oh, jeez.
The zombie thing is crazy right now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Spectrum did not immediately respond to Gizmodo's request for a comment about it. We have confirmed that we were fed an incorrect audio file, which sounds like they're the ones who put that signal out there.
Yeah, like they just have it on like back file and they just like accidentally put it out.
No.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Why would
that
they
is
just
really
have
weird.
that chilling?
Yeah, like why would you be able to just go in there to their audio file or like unless somebody hacked it. But if they can hack into Spectrum, give me some free fucking cable. Like this is calling out to all hackers. Give me some free fucking cable. Like Jesus, like if they can do all that, like put it up, make it seem legit, put it through like that. I feel like that had to have been in their files already.
Yeah.
Somebody just hacked in and played. Like they were just opening up files and they're like, "This is interesting," and they just started playing file by file.
Yeah.
And that's why a couple of them got played because they're probably like filed under hoax or radio station or conspiracy or
Yeah, they
it
probably
might
did
have
a
dates
story
on
or
it.
something.
They might have had
Scary
dates that they were
crap
going to
that
put
make
out.
people poop their pants.
Yeah, I
Could
guess
you
that's
imagine like
possible.
2018, 2019, like they're
But
filed under?
somebody had to fucking cue that shit up.
Oh,
like
dude,
somebody either if it was an accident, somebody fucked up and grabbed the wrong audio file and put it in the wrong spot.
Right. It was supposed to be like a Huggies commercial.
Could that just be some bullshit though to try to? I mean, they are saying the world's gonna end.
Yeah.
They have been saying that, but that happens like every 5 years or something like that.
Because they were showing the 3 hurricanes that they compared to the 2012 movie.
I mean, yeah, with all the shit going
Yeah.
on, like, what are the odds?
It was
you know?
actually 4 hurricanes because Jose
That's an unfortunate
was
fucking
getting
accident.
eaten by Maria, and Maria was the one that was going to hit.
Yeah.
Hell.
Hell.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, I wish I could get eaten by Maria.
Yeah,
Whoever
so
she
did
is.
I. Actually, I know her, Maria. She's terrible. She's a terrible person. Wish she would die.
I don't know if I know any
Yeah.
Marias. I used to know Maria, but I don't anymore. All right, another thing I had.
Cook her up in spaghetti.
Keep moving, I guess.
Maria is
Keep
a
it
good
moving.
name. I like
Makes me
Maria.
think of that country song, My Maria.
I don't know if I ever heard it.
I think it's Brooks and Dunn.
I thought it was like a
It's
Spanish
like a
song.
90s country song.
And it was like, Maria, Maria.
It sounds kind of similar, but I don't
Does
think
it?
that's what
Okay.
it is.
It's probably
Carlos
not.
Santana. And, like, some... I forget what's...
Hell, of course
Yeah,
Miguel
I mean-
knows.
Well, the guy's really good on the guitar. Of course I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I mean, fuck, Black
There's some-
Magic Woman? That's like a fucking kick-ass song.
See, I'm horrible with names. I know these.
That was on,
really
I think
don't
that was
know
on like
the-
Guitar Hero Rock Band or something. That was like
lyrics.
one of my favorite ones to play on there too. But that song's a shit.
I've jammed out on some
And
Guitar
back in the
Hero.
day, that shit he did with Rob Thomas was my jam too. That shit got
Guitar Hero,
overplayed
some
way
Rock
quick.
Band.
But
People, we could do that.
live rock band. I think that would be such a fucking copyright issue, dude. Not only are we playing a game, but we're using all this fucking music that we
We'll
don't
just
know.
play the game and just dub our own music. Like, we'll just sing on the microphone, like Miguel will be, and we'll just dub over what he's saying, and it'll be terrible, but it'll be amazing.
That to
It'll
me
be so
just
terrible.
kills. That gives the video no purpose whatsoever. Just that's purely
But it's already
just for
there.
fun.
It's already live, so we've already done it without no value. We're just
Jesus.
ripping it.
Maybe we should go back to the drawing board on that.
Maybe
one.
we should.
But
Come back in 2 weeks.
I read this article. It came out on the 22nd. It said Saudi Arabian history book includes accidental Yoda.
What?
Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Education is recalling all copies of a history textbook after it emerged that they have accidentally rewritten history by including a picture of King Faisal signing the United Nations Charter in 1945 with Yoda by his side.
Oh.
That is amazing.
There is the photo. That is in a Saudi Arabian history book.
Oh man, I want
I
that
love
book.
I know, dude. How awesome would it be to get that mystery?
right there.
Like somebody's got to be throwing that on eBay.
it has.
But I mean, that's
And is that like one book, or is that something that got mass produced?
That sounds
out
like
to,
mass-produced.
Everybody. Like they're learning that that's what happened in Saudi Arabia history.
They don't have the best like school stuff, but I would imagine that it has to be like
One kid somewhere grew up
1,000 or
thinking
more.
Yoda was there. Like he's never seen Star Wars.
I think this is more
Imagine
recent.
if he comes to America and just sees stuff. Oh my God, that guy's he came back. What?
Well, I imagine it's something that just happened.
Yeah.
Like it says the picture was intended to illustrate a section detailing the king's rule. Was created by a Saudi artist named Abdullah El Sharai, I think, as part of a series of doctored pictures which saw various figures from pop culture inserted into historical photographs. He had no idea of its inclusion in the textbook until his mother, a teacher, asked him about it. I meant no offense to the king at all, he told the New York Times, saying that he chose the pairing because he considers both Yoda and King Faisal to be wise and strong, as well as Yoda's green skin and lightsaber matching the green and Saudi flag. Wow, that's interesting.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
For their part, the Saudi government is recalling the textbook and printing a more historically accurate replacement. Yeah. The government also formed a legal committee to attempt to find the source of the problem and respond with appropriate action. They're cutting those motherfuckers' hands off.
Yeah, they are.
So he can never illustrate nothing again.
Holy shit! This dude's sitting in there like, no.
Oh, it says it's not clear how many copies of the textbook exist, but the world being what it is, it probably won't be long before you can find one for sale on the internet.
There you
Meanwhile,
go.
teachers everywhere are probably furtively? I don't know if that's a word, if it's a typo or what.
Fernando.
Furtively. Furtive.
I feel like that's an autocorrect. I feel like somebody typed this with their phone and autocorrect just took over at that point.
Yeah, well, it says there, teachers everywhere are probably skimming through their textbooks just in case. Now, see, they could have just taken that word out and it still would have made fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know why that's even there. I think that's a mistake. That's a typo.
Ah,
That's gotta be a typo.
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody
Across the
fucked
keyboard
up
at
there.
that point.
Maybe it was the person that put the picture in the goddamn book.
He doesn't have any hands now. No hands.
Yeah, he's pressing the wrong
They
goddamn
will
button.
never get me now.
He gives that small hand.
They would never
song
know
the
it
whole
was
meeting.
I like it. But
Stubbles.
I thought that was pretty damn hilarious.
That was some pretty dank news for Mark.
Real quick, I read that Ric Flair, you know, he's been all fucked up lately. It's because he's an alcoholic.
Okay, yeah.
He's been drinking too much, and he quit. He's
See, I just heard that too.
or no, he's done drinking, or he's gonna fucking die, pretty much. So he's the nature boy. He's
gotta
gonna
get
have to go au natural.
He's gonna have to want to live
Well,
2 more years.
I think if he's an alcoholic, you can't actually just quit cold turkey. I'm sure he's in the hospital
With the
and there.
withdrawal and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like because that could kill you.
Oh, dude, definitely.
That could.
Especially how long he's been doing it. Shoot.
But
He's
I mean,
gonna die right now.
it caused. Actually, I have the article. I'll get so I'm not an asshole just giving
False
kind of information.
Yeah, I did hear something about that's why Charlotte took time off to be with him in the hospital.
Yeah,
That's why
she
she's
was
been
gone.
going
Which
off Raw and-
I love Charlotte.
I heard
so
she's doing
fucking
live
much.
shows now because, well, they said that was the reason, but then they said they don't have anything for her. And the reason they don't have anything for her is because the 4 horsewomen are going up against the UFC women.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's the next big feud. But
Well, she was just on SmackDown the other night, and they started a feud with her and who was it? Natty? Did you watch?
For the title?
I don't know. It was somebody. She came out there to talk about her dad, and then somebody came out and interrupted her. It was Natty. Yeah.
Okay, because I know they're waiting for Ronda Rousey to come in. That's who's going to lead the
That's what I've
UFC
heard, that she's been
girls,
trying.
yeah.
I also heard Paige is coming back.
Yeah, to Raw.
She
Spice
she
that up
took
a
a
little bit.
picture of the whatever that place is that they all train. I forget what they call it.
The Performance Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She took a picture of it and said, back home again, blah, blah, blah. Basically saying that, like, hey, I'm going to be coming back. And I'm just like,
Come back, then I'm gonna go again.
yeah.
Well, no, she's gone from Alberto Patron because Alberto Patron just got caught up in
He got in some legal trouble.
Impact, so they might be
Oh.
stripping him of the title because I think it's this week they're finally going to announce what his future is with Global Force Wrestling.
No shit.
Because
Well,
Jeff
shit.
Jarrett's been in legal
What
battle
they need
too.
to do is figure out the fucking future of Global Force Wrestling.
Well, Global Force Wrestling bought Impact. They got infused together, but Jeff Jarrett's been gone with this legal thing because
Yeah.
it wasn't a proper infusion. So technically,
But
there's
it's
still
been
two
up for
different
sale
companies.
like 7 times in the
Yeah, I
last
know.
6 months.
Because he's investing all his money in stupid gold savings bullshit that they had behind the scenes.
WWE just needs to buy him out and then become the fucking.
They want to buy him for like $100.
Become the wrestling network.
They said they would not pay over like $1 million for TNA. They were like,
I wouldn't either.
or something. They were like, we'll give him like $100,000. Like they lowballed the hell out of TNA. Like something Vince was like, I'll give him $1.
Vince McMahon hates fucking Jeff Jarrett. He
Yeah,
hates
exactly.
him.
That's what it is. He doesn't want to deal. He's like, I'll wait for them right before they're about to go bankrupt, and then I'll do what I did to WCW and I'll bury them,
Fuck.
just like I did with everything else.
Fuck that shit. No. They just need to buy some shit. What they need to do is put fucking Raw and SmackDown on the network.
Yep.
And then just put everything on every wrestling promotion they
Yeah.
can.
Ring of Honor.
You don't even have to buy the promotion. Just
Even if Raw and
make a
SmackDown-
deal with them. Like, look, you can be on the WWE Wrestling Network. Like,
Right. Even if Raw and SmackDown wasn't on the network and it was TNA, Ring of Honor, NXT, New Japan Wrestling,
All the
fucking the UK Wrestling.
all the indie promotions could
All the
all
indie
be
promotions
somewhere
would
to
be
be
all on the
seen
thing,
and
yep.
shit. Like,
Only negative they can go after. Well, some little company can go after. Hey, they're monopoly.
well, I mean, not really, because they're not buying the companies.
yeah, they're not
just
buying them. They're
striking
just
deals with them.
Yeah, they're just streaming them through their service.
It's essentially like NBC going and buying a pilot of a TV show and then making the TV show. You know what I mean? It's like a movie studio in a sense, and which they are too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there's actually a movie the Bruce Lee movie. I want to see that fucking movie.
Yes, I do.
That they made.
Yep.
It
made
actually
that
did
movie?
fairly well.
Who did you say made the Bruce Lee movie?
WWE.
Did they?
They were one of the production
The
companies.
newest one?
Yeah, they
Wow, I
made
didn't
it.
know that.
But oh yeah, they were advertising it all over Raw. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
I guess I don't watch enough wrestling.
to get the
Yeah.
skinny on Ric Flair,
Literally.
the legendary wrestler who told People magazine that he is the legendary wrestler told People magazine that he is an alcoholic. The 68-year-old was rushed to the hospital with stomach pains last month. Within hours, he was suffering kidney failure on the verge of a congestion heart failure. Wow, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
The result of years of alcohol abuse, his family... Okay, I apologize for how poorly I'm reading this. Being the results of years of alcohol abuse, his family members were told he had only 20% chance of surviving. Fucking A.
Wow.
He
That is
did.
insane.
He's that 20%.
Yeah. Because did you see his video, his comeback video? Like, I'm back, motherfuckers. His shirt says, I'm back, motherfuckers. Like,
I didn't
he's got
see that.
he's got a t-shirt. He came out on Facebook and he was like, you can't kill me or whatever. I'm back. And his shirt now says, I'm back, motherfuckers, or something like that. Or I live.
That
or
is
some
such
shit
a
like
fucking
that.
Ric Flair thing to do.
It is. It's hilarious. I
That's
want to buy
like-
one of those t-shirts. It's got a hat and everything.
That's like Harrison Ford wearing the I'm Indiana Jones Han Solo and fucking Decker from Blade Runner or whatever.
Right.
And
I've
then
never seen Blade Runner either. I'm a lame when it comes to the good movies.
I haven't seen the first one.
Okay.
I haven't seen the second one either, obviously. But and that's one of those movies that like everybody's like shocked, like really? Like not only that, but like I'd probably love the fuck out of it.
Oh,
That's
yeah, so
right
would
up
I.
my alley.
There's
But-
actually a movie I have right now on Vudu from him. It's one of his newest movies where he's in space. It was like 2016 or 2015, like,
Oh yeah, I remember
but I still haven't watched it.
something.
What's her name from Harry Potter?
Something like that. I've only seen the cover of it. That's as far as I got. Starts with an E. I know that.
Something. Fucking love Harrison Ford.
So do I.
I know what movies are. I haven't watched that movie yet. It's so good.
He's the shit. All right, and last but not least, I think. Yeah. I thought this was really cool. Man discovers medical device uses a Game Boy display. Took apart an electrocardiogram measurement instrument and discovered it has a Game Boy Advance embedded in it.
Wow.
Here, there's pictures. That's the unit itself, like not being opened.
Yeah.
That's the Game Boy screen.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. And that's like in this medical device?
I don't know how Twitter works. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna get all the pictures for you though. Oh, there this thing is the thing opened up and you see the screen in there. So this,
That is insane.
which raises a bunch of fucking questions. Like, you can look at the picture. It says Game Boy Advance SP right at the bottom.
Dude, and that's like Game Boy Advance SP, because it was Game Boy, then it was Game Boy Color.
Yeah, this
Dude, that
is
came
like
out in like 2005 or 2007. Like between 2005 and 2007 is when that came out.
I don't know. I think the last fucking Nintendo system I owned was a 64. So.
Okay, and 64 came out.
And I didn't own any other Nintendos at the time.
99, 2000?
Late 90s.
Did it? Yeah, I thought it came out like 97.
No, I think
between
94
97 and
was like.
99.
It was right around the same time because N64 and PlayStation, those were the generation, right?
Yeah.
The first PlayStation, and then after that it was
Because then it was the
PlayStation 2.
Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2.
And then it was GameCube after that. But
after N64 was GameCube.
I was a fucking kid when I got a Nintendo 64, like a kid, like elementary school.
Yeah. Well, so was I, and we're about the same age. You're only a year.
So it had
younger.
to be like.
You were a kid when you got an N64, but it was out for like 15
Yeah,
years.
what I'm saying is the Nintendo 64, when it was current gen,
yeah,
I was a kid.
Dude, Mario 64 blew our mind.
Yeah.
Like, exploded.
GoldenEye.
Oh, dude.
Fucking,
GoldenEye.
dude, Wave Race. Wave Race was my shit.
Yes.
All kinds of stuff, dude. There were so many good 64 games.
Star Fox 64.
Yep. Zelda.
See, I never
Ocarina
got
of
into
Time.
Zelda as much as I got into Star Fox and Mario.
Dude, Ocarina
and
of Time is shit.
Kirby.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was nice.
Yeah, whoever used Oddjob was a fucking asshole, though.
Right?
Because he was short. So you couldn't just shoot straight. You had to actually go down. But he could always be like...
As soon as you get
Fuck
the golden
Oddjob.
gun, you're just... It doesn't matter who you are. If you get the golden gun, the game's over.
Like the little kid that was playing with you. Well, I was a little kid at the time. But the kid that was... The one that really couldn't play the game was the one who had Oddjob.
Yeah, right?
Like, go ahead and be Oddjob. It's not a threat with you, but...
And wasn't that the first, like, introduction of multiplayer? Like, the first time you actually played split screen with someone?
I'm pretty sure GoldenEye was the first ever shooter.
That's what I thought.
First-person shooter. And
at least close to it.
With the split 4 screens, you could play 4 people at a time. Maybe, I don't think you could play... No, you only had 4 ports for controllers.
Yeah, you only had 4 ports
had
for controllers.
the tri-handled...
Remember when you first, like, learned how to use it and you were using it, and then when you
I
figured...
I still love that controller.
When you figured out you can use it like this and do this. And
Yeah, just
I used
move
to get
your
so
hands
mad when people would be like... And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing with my controller? I'm like, are you stupid?
Well, the thing I loved about that controller is there was so many, like, not only could you hold it by the 3 little things, but, like, where the buttons were up here, it was, like, so you could turn it sideways if you had those, like, a certain game where, like, it depended on how fast you press the button, like, you would make more money or something would happen quicker. So, like, you could figure out the little tricks to do
Like,
it because you would have all different ways to hold it and get it, like... You know what I mean? Like, you
Super
were working
Smash
your
Bros.
jerk-off muscle.
Yeah, right. It's like your forearm's 3 times the size it was when
like
you were a
this
kid now.
little right here.
Your fingers like this big, your hand like you're just sitting here with that one big arm from Lady in the Water.
It was always the arm you jerked off with. Like, you held it with the other one, and then...
You playing with it like Super Smash. He was a Super Smash Brothers master.
What are you doing? Leave me alone, Mom.
Yeah, button combos.
See, I was never as fast as my friend. Like, he would be able to press the B button so fast the game couldn't even keep up. Like, he'd press the B button so fast that he was able to press it twice every time it needed to be pressed. Like PS2 days, I'm saying. But like, he would press that fucker so fast that it would be like any button combination would just fill, any bar would be playing wrestling. His bar would fill up faster than mine by like a split second because the game can only register you pressing it so many times.
Yeah.
And it's like, it registers him as pressing all the buttons at once. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, chill out, dude. You're going to get up. You're going to kick out.
Well,
Don't worry about it. SmackDown 1, bro. Chill.
That was also, I believe it was the first controller to have the joysticks, too.
I think it was, yeah.
And, but it was
fucking small.
such an early version joystick. Like, they hadn't mastered joysticks quite yet. That after a while, that shit would just be caked in powder. Because it's all the rubbing and everything, like there's powder all over it. But I knew that, like, when it came to the button stuff, like, if your hands got sweaty and stuff, it didn't flow over the plastic as fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you would actually, you would either do that, and then when that stopped working, like you were just so clammy and whatever, I would just rub my finger in all that powder, and it would dry right up.
See, I would never get the sweaty palm. I would never get the sweaty palm syndrome. I don't know if I was just not fast enough on the buttons, but my hands would always...
in intense moments like that, I'd have sweaty everything, dude. Playing dude, Shadows of the Empire, the Star Wars game.
Okay, see, I never played
running
that one.
around, fighting IG-88 and shit, and like,
shit.
you even fought Boba Fett. He was flying around and shit, and like, that was one of the hardest. He was like one of the last bosses too, but
And he
god
just,
damn.
like,
Shadows of the
I remember
Empire was
seeing
the
that.
shit.
Yeah,
One
I've
of
never
the-
played that one. The only one I played was the I played the Force Awakens, but the one before that, King of the
Force Awakens. That's fucking last year.
I
or
know.
2 years.
Well, Force Awakens is newer, but it was the King of something. It was like KOTR or something like that. Like, I'm thinking of King of the Ring, but that was like the name of it. It was like Star Wars, and it was the original Xbox. When the original Xbox came out, and they came out with a sequel, but it was equally as shitty. Like, I got to a point where you couldn't move the boulder with the Force or something like that.
I can't. I think I know what you're talking. Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic,
Yeah.
yes.
Because
Yep.
yeah, which
And
is
like, it
weird
was a
'cause-
great game, but it was so shitty. You're like, oh my god, I hate you, but I love you.
What I don't
It was one of those
understand
games.
about Star Wars games is there were already Star Wars Battlefront games. So like, are the ones that are out now 1 and 2?
Right, because
When
there
was already a
Battlefront
1 and 2
64.
for like PlayStation 2 or something, wasn't there?
I think it went all, yeah, because I think
So
Battlefront
wouldn't it
1,
be
I remember
Battlefront
playing all the way back
3
on
and
Xbox.
4?
Yeah,
For a new generation.
Yeah, they
But
just
how would
it's a
you-
reboot.
I guess they bought rights, yeah.
Specialness. Like, oh, we got the 1 2. No, you didn't. You didn't.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna reboot Knights of the
Yeah.
Old Republic and just make it. Oh, it's Knights of the Old Republic.
Well,
Fuck
they're
those
actually
old ones.
working on an open
Like
world
the third
Star Wars
X-Men
game.
movie.
Third X-Men movie would be nice, but they're already working. They're already working on the open world Star Wars. Instead of the Knights of the Old Republic, they're just going to come out with an open world Star Wars.
It takes so fucking long,
Dude, so fucking long. That's what Bethesda. I wonder what Bethesda's working on. Because
gotta
they're
be
working on a space
Elder
game.
Scrolls 6. Gotta be.
They're working on a space
They
game.
are working on a space game. I don't know what though.
Elder Scrolls 6, they said they're waiting.
You think that's why I can't remember who did it, but they stopped making Mass Effect. They canceled Mass Effect games.
BioWare?
Yeah.
For
You think
Andromeda?
that's why? Because they're like, fuck, dude, Bethesda's about to kill us.
Yeah.
They're about
It's
to kill
possible
us.
because Bethesda,
Murder us.
with what they said they wanted to do with Elder Scrolls 6, they said they don't have the technology yet, so that's why they're shifting all their thoughts to
space game.
the space game.
Did
But
they
what they
acquire any rights recently, do you know?
For
For any kind of intellectual property? Like
Not that I know
something
of.
we may know that they're going to adapt into a space game?
Not that I know of. The only thing that they had was that fake name, and they were saying that that's probably what Bethesda's talking about, is that fake name game that they
'Cause
have.
I heard a couple of weeks ago that Target accidentally posted a pre-order or something for and it was just titled Bethesda's Game of Thrones. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, that'd be amazing. But
No, that is true.
I remember that happening, but I don't know if that's actually happening.
I think there is.
Yeah.
I think Bethesda's working on 2 games. They're working on their space game, which is the Studios, and Bethesda's working on an open world Game of Thrones game. I think they hooked up with HBO, and they're literally getting voice actors from the show. They're getting a CGI from the
if
show.
anybody
like-
could get everything they need to make it good, it would be Bethesda.
But that might be, instead of them giving them a Fallout IP, they might have given Obsidian Game of Thrones. Obsidian might be making it. The people that made New Vegas.
Gotcha.
So could you imagine a New Vegas but it's Game of Thrones.
Dude, I love New Vegas, and that gets a lot of hate, but I love it.
Oh,
I mean,
so
I
did
bought
I.
the fucking special edition, dude.
Right?
Came with poker chips and shit.
That's sweet.
A comic book. And
That's fucking badass.
I wanted the Pip-Boy so bad for Fallout 4, though. You can get it now, but it's still
Yeah,
just ridiculously expensive. And all it's going to do is just put my phone in it.
Right?
Like, I could do everything it could do just by downloading the app.
I just wanted the case it came in.
I just the
little display. Like, I just wanted to have a Pip-Boy.
Like, wear it to school.
Did you see the guy that made the real Pip-Boy that he wore on, I think it was on Facebook or something, like a real Pip-Boy that was, it didn't have a phone.
Oh,
it
yeah,
had
the
an
guy
actual
actually
working
made
screen.
one. Yeah.
Something
Maybe
like
he
that'd
used
be
a
sweet.
fucking Game Boy screen. But I forgot how we got on this damn subject.
We were talking about Ric Flair and Ric Flair being an alcoholic,
Woo, yeah, that's right.
and we moved on to whatever we were just talking about, Game Boys.
Some shit. That's all I had, though, other than I saw the new Pirates movie, and it was pretty good. Was it? Yeah, like, if you like the original three, it's kind of like a sequel to those.
See, I've
But
never seen
I
the
didn't
Pirates of
hate
the
the
Caribbean
fourth
movies.
one with, like, Penelope Cruz and shit and Blackbeard.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was totally watchable.
Hell,
Hell,
see,
Miguel.
I've actually never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. Any of them.
Oh, dude, the first
one.
two for sure, and
Yeah,
the third
definitely.
one's pretty good
I
too.
don't know. I just can't get into those movies. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like Harry Potter, I Lord of the Rings. Like, I've watched
I
them.
love Lord of the Rings.
And I've gotten into them, and it's like I love Skyrim and I love all this stuff, but I can't sit there. I don't know if it's my attention span, but I get to the end of the movie, like Harry Potter, I fall asleep in the same spot every time.
It's because it's long.
It's when Voldemort turns around into the snake, and it's the big reveal, and I fall asleep.
It's good. Yeah, it's probably because they're long.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings is like what 2.5 hours long. I think I got through like when they were riding
For
in
the
front of the
first
castle.
disc,
Yeah,
See, I love it though. Like for somebody like me, that's just more to love.
Mhm.
You know, it's like a big woman.
it's kind
More
of
to
like,
love.
it's kind of like when I watched Pineapple Express, and I was falling asleep. All right, and I'm watching this movie of Pineapple Express.
Love fucking pineapple.
And it kept going in loop. And I have watched Pineapple Express so many times that I didn't realize that I kept falling asleep and waking up and watching it over and over because I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, hey, all right, dude, grab the weed and the money and the munchies and the
like-
fruit snacks and we'll get out of here. And then it would go on loop. And be like, all right, dude, grab the weed and the munchies and the fruit snacks and let's get out of here. And it would do that over.
See,
And then it would play a little bit more after that. And then it would play a little bit more after that. And then it would revert back to all right, get the weed and the munch. And it took me 25 minutes at least to realize this DVD had been skipping back and forth and back and forth. And I don't know if I was in a dream state or a dream world or what, because it was like, it would just kept playing. And I was like, this is the movie. And I'm like, this part's fucking amazing. And I'm like, I love this part. And then I'm like,
going back.
why does it play
Why
four?
does it keep
Why
on
is it
going
played four
again?
times already?
Did you do 4 different scenes of this? What's
Right.
going on?
Like when you finally wake up and you're watching it, and it's like, all right, get the weed and the money and the munchies and the fruit snacks.
honestly, I mean, I see your problem there, but there's definitely worse scenes to be stuck on. That scene is fucking hilarious.
that scene is fucking hilarious.
He's like, grab the weed, food, fruit roll-ups. Like, I think that's the exact line too. And like that, the funniest thing about that is the fact that he's already said food, and then he says fruit roll-ups specifically.
the fruit roll-ups. He's like, oh, you just puked in my printer.
yeah. Like, don't puke on my printer.
No puke in my printer. But yeah,
It's like fucking lingerers, man.
it's like it would get to the part where he had red shot somebody, man. That's where it would start at.
like a cop, a lady, and a guy, man. It's like a massacre.
And that's where it started freezing. And then it would move over to where he comes in. And then it would finally play the cop, the massacre, and then it would go through that whole scene over. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, how long have I actually been sleeping here?
Too long.
I was laying on a couch watching it, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Meanwhile, you actually pressed that fucking repeat button on there. The
I was
kids used to
pressing
jerk
repeat.
off to the titty scenes.
Right? I don't even know if there is any titty scenes in Pineapple Express. Is there? I don't think there is. Unless you're
You
talking about
definitely
Red.
see Seth
You see
Rogen's
Red's
titties.
Well, female.
Oh,
I don't remember.
No,
I don't remember
but-
if there was any females besides his grandma in that entire. Which I was
Amber
confused.
Heard, his girlfriend, the chick that just fucking took $7 million from Johnny Depp, and then gave it to charity.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was married. She was in the Rum Diaries.
Oh, you're talking about in real life, the girl that took 7. Okay, I got you.
yeah,
I
no,
was still talking
that
about the
wasn't a movie. No, she took.
Yeah.
She was married to Johnny Depp, and she divorced him and
Because
took
his
$7
big
million.
like freak out where he was drunk or whatever.
Supposedly, she set him up. She had a
Yeah,
camera
did you see
sitting
the
there.
edited video, like how edited
Yeah,
it was?
we did a fucking reaction video. Me and
That's
Jared.
why I seen it.
Dude,
Yep.
that's crazy.
But yeah, she set him up, dude. I mean, his mom had just died. He had found out his mom died that morning. She set him up. She knew he was upset.
Yeah.
Then took $7 million and gave it away.
That's
like, fuck
crazy.
you, bitch.
Yeah.
And now he's losing his mind. He's got to sell like 6 of his 30 houses or something. His island. Poor guy.
White people problems.
Poor Johnny Depp.
That's rich people's problem right there.
Well, yeah, rich people problems, rich white people problems. I
But
guess.
kudos to him, because Pirates of the Caribbean, the new one, was pretty good. Which I'm pretty sure he was actually drunk the entire movie.
Yeah, I think he was.
Because at
I
first,
think he might have been drunk in all of them.
in the first movies, you're thinking like, okay, he kind of just plays drunk, and he's only
Yeah.
drunk like half the time. Like he's putting on this persona, but he's actually quite clever and smart behind all that. This one, he's just fucking a drunk.
He's just wasted.
Like at this point,
Where's the rum?
this is the older Jack Sparrow, and he's just let himself drink himself stupid, pretty much.
I
But,
wouldn't be shocked. if
Whale
he did
hail.
that.
which reminds me, somebody said that Paul McCartney was in that movie, and I didn't see him, unless I wasn't looking. You know what I mean?
Like,
He was a pirate in the movie. Like Paul McCartney was a guy in the movie.
Huh.
Because like they put fucking what's his name played Jack Sparrow's dad, Keith Richards, and that's who he modeled Jack Sparrow after was Keith Richards.
interesting.
So
It could be true.
yeah, I guess I'm a nerd or something.
Maybe. I got called.
Oh,
nerd.
probably.
I got called the nerd the other day.
The nerd, you are the nerd.
The nerd. The nerds of nerds. Like, I'm gonna pull my glasses out.
I like it.
And I'm going to put them on right now, and we're going to talk about the nerdiest thing.
But
We're actually
yeah.
going to talk about the nerdiest thing.
I was about to say that's all I had.
Yeah,
so
I want to
if
bring
you wanna
up.
Talk about
well,
something,
I guess
go
we'll
for
talk
it.
about. We'll start with sleep paralysis and my experience. We actually talked about sleep paralysis before.
I've had one that I can remember.
Yeah,
One experience with sleep paralysis, and it freaked me the fuck out.
yeah. And you told me your experience with sleep paralysis was like you were sitting in a chair and like everything was coming at you.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot more to it than that. Like, and I even watched a documentary after that blew my mind even fucking more because it's like they were there and they knew exactly what happened to me.
Okay.
It's called, I think it's called The Nightmare or something like that.
I think I've seen that. Was that on?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
And
where
it's
they
all
have, like, a
about
bunch of
sleep
shadows.
paralysis. Yeah, dude, I experienced like most of what they talked about. Like, what it was is I woke up in the middle of the night and I realized that all around me I could see, you know what fractals are?
Like,
It's kind of like it's
specs or-
those images that like they're usually inspired like a lot of Tool, the band Tool's art uses
Okay.
a lot of fractals, but like it's those images that it's you just keep going deeper and deeper into it, and it just
Like a
repeats itself, and
bottomless-
repeats itself,
yeah.
and repeats itself, and like I realized that like I could see just just fractals all over the place in the space around me in the air. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But as I'm noticing these things, I'm realizing that I'm seeing some dark figure move around inside of all these things. I'm noticing this dark figure because all those fractals are there. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
bouncing. Because those fractals are there, I could see this dark figure in the darkness. Because I could see the weird movements in the fractals and shit. But I can't move this whole time. I'm literally looking around with just my eyeballs. Like this. And I'm screaming on the inside going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right.
And I can't do anything about it. My girlfriend's laying right next to me. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm seeing this thing move around me, and I feel like there's something in the room with us. Like I have that fear in me.
Yeah, like an anxious, like something's like someone's coming up
Yeah.
on you.
And this goes on for maybe like five minutes or so.
Okay.
Like, and then eventually, like all the things I'm saying and doing on the inside, I just jump into it. Like I'm out of it, and all those things that I was saying and doing on the inside are now happening in reality. I just all of a sudden jump up. What the fuck? What the fuck? And my girlfriend wakes up like, what the fuck is going on?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I explained to her what was going on and shit. And she was, and at first I didn't know what was going on. She's like, yeah, that happened. Like, that's happened to me. That happens to people sometimes, like all tired and shit. And I'm just thinking like, are you fucking really?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'd never hear about this. What the
You're
fuck are you
right.
talking about?
Why didn't tell me about this?
And she's just like, it's okay. So, and I eventually calmed down. I think I went and I smoked a cigarette. And I came in here and was just like, whew, you know, calmed down and went back. Eventually went back in there, laid down. She's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah. I never experienced anything like that before. And went back to sleep. Hasn't happened again since.
See, I've had like.
But then I saw that documentary a couple of weeks later, and I was like,
Yeah, right.
Like, it's like they were fucking telling. That's like a doctor was talking to me and saying, like, this is what happened. Maybe not this part, but all that other shit I was talking about, right? And I'm like, yes, it happened. I'm looking at the TV and shit. But,
See, my experience, I've had 3 sleep paralysis experiences that I know of, like 3 or 4. My first one, I was young. I was young, probably. My great grandma was still alive, so I was probably like 6, 4 or 5.
okay, that's fairly.
Maybe even 5
this
or
was,
6. Yeah.
For me, this was like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, so I'm laying there, and like I open my eyes, and I'm just like, I can hear everybody walking around. I can hear them. For me, I've never seen shadows. I've never seen anybody that wasn't there.
So
I've never heard anything that wasn't
something
there.
that happens to you often? Like this
Not
happened
recently.
many times?
This has happened like 3 times in my entire life.
Okay, but
3
the
or 4
first
times
time
in
was
my
when you were
entire life.
6.
First time when I was like 6.
Okay.
And so I'm laying there, and I'm like this, and I don't know what's going on. I'm completely frozen. And I can hear them talking about the day. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to make some corn. We're going to do this. And, like, they're walking over me because I'm sleeping on the floor at this point. I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And they're, like, doing their everyday thing. And I'm laying there like, help me.
Wow.
And, like, I'm trying to do this. And, like, all of a sudden it switches to an image. And I'm just, like, bouncing a basketball off the back of my eyelid with somebody else standing next to me that I have no idea who this kid is. But we're just standing there, and I could see the basketball hit the back of my eye. Like, I'm laying there like this, and then I see this person here. Like, I'm now seeing out of my eyes. Like, I shrunk down to a small person, and I'm in my brain like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, you know what? I want to wake up now. And I'm just like, and I grab the ball, and I just wake up. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, you said, like I'm 6. I'm not saying that, but I'm like, and I tell them about this, and they're just like, oh, yeah, whatever. We were talking about that. I was like I waited till later, and I was like, were you guys talking about, like, making corn or some shit earlier? They were like, yeah, we were talking about that. We were going to have that for dinner. And I was like, is that a dream about it?
I was
Like, oh, you must have overheard us.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you were like in a weird,
Like, dream state.
you were in that state between like REM sleep and awake.
Yeah.
Like you were still alert. You know that like when you're really tired, but you just lay down and you just slowly feel yourself falling asleep.
Yeah.
And you can still hear things going on. You're still aware of things going on around you, but you're kind of asleep too.
But
It's
see,
like
with this,
that
I
state.
I
You
couldn't
were in
move.
that.
Like, I was paralyzed.
Yeah,
I'm
because your
trying to
body's
physically-
asleep, but your mind's awake.
Yeah, my mind was like almost completely awake, and I'm laying there like, and that's what I've heard of sleep paralysis. Like, the people are like, because I just seen a movie about it. It was obviously a fictional movie.
Yeah.
But the protagonist in it, she would fall asleep, and then this old hag, they actually called her the old hag, you just see her like crawling, and then she would come up and start choking you to death, and you
Shit.
would wake up.
No,
but
I've
then
heard
she
about
would
that.
get more and more of a grip on you, and she'd finally kill you. And so people were dying in their sleep, and the doctor was like, oh, it's just sleep paralysis. You're hallucinating. Hallucinations can kill you. Sleep paralysis can kill you. And then, like, spoiler alert, but by the end of the movie, the doctor gets visited by the old hag. Like, they figure out how to kill the old hag, and then the doctor gets visited because it's something that can never be killed.
This actually sounds kind of familiar.
Okay, I don't remember what it was called, but it came out like maybe 2 years ago. I just seen it on Netflix. She was like a blonde-haired doctor, short hair, glasses.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. They must have saw this documentary or did some research because they're basing that old hag lady
Yeah.
on what they call the man in black.
Okay, yeah,
He's
I've heard of the
usually
man. I've
wearing,
seen the
like-
Man in Black, yeah.
And this is what I basically accredit that black figure moving around me was this man in black, my version of it. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of sees their own version of it, but the most commonly told version of it is a guy. It's all it is you're seeing like basically a shadow shape of a man, and he's wearing like a hat of some sort, like a big one. And sometimes there's like 2 other shadow people behind him, almost like they're a posse or something. Like
Okay.
these are his
Yeah.
thugs. You
Like
know
his
what I mean?
crew, like a demon showing up.
Like-
There's like 2 other demons with him.
And I think that's probably just the people's minds creating this image to represent whatever it is. Like for me, it was almost just I didn't see like shapes or to me it was the outline of like a humanoid figure, but I didn't see like the shape of a hat or like a coat, like and they used imagery in the documentary, so maybe I'm taking more from the imagery they showed me than what actually people. Because in the imagery, what it was is it looked like Dick Tracy fucking standing in the doorway with 2 dudes. You know what I mean, with the fedora and everything. But yeah, I think that's because people say that, and people talk about how they feel like they can see the space around them, and I fractals are like highly recognized as being very mathematical, which just like the universe and shit. So
Yeah, like you were
fractals
breaking
in a way,
down-
it kind of represents a lot of scientific theory and shit.
You were seeing in between the what makes up. You were seeing in between matter and like what makes up
I
everything.
was
as a whole.
basically seeing the particles that make up space and shit,
Yeah, like your
and
filter
time.
was-
Like
your
I was
filter was
seeing,
down.
yeah, like it was weird. Like that's
Yeah.
how I imagine
Like
it.
your
anyway.
eyes were woken.
It's like I was seeing what we don't see there for a brief moment. Like
Yeah.
that's how I saw it. Like you actually see what space and time is for a second. It's just a bunch of fucking shit we don't understand.
Right.
It's crazy. It's
It
crazy.
is. And like fast forward till we'll say I want to say like 6 years ago. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm laying in the bed with my girlfriend and I got my arm around her and I'm like and we're talking and I go like this. Instant attack. And I'm like
Are you sure you're not having like seizures or
fucking
something?
paralyzed now. And like as soon as I put my head down, I can feel my face like moving into the pillow. Like the weight of my head just going more and more deeper into sleep, but I could feel the pillow starting to cut off my air circulation. And I see my girlfriend in front of me, and like since we had just been talking, she's over there playing on her phone and shit, and I'm getting angry because in my mind I'm like, fucking help me. And I'm like trying to move my finger to touch her so she'll like bump me or something, because I know what's going on at this point, because this is like
Yeah.
would be because the second attack I think was pretty close to the same thing.
I was
Like,
doing
came
something
out of
similar.
it
I was like trying to
so this
bump
is
my
pretty much
girlfriend
like,
if I could, but I couldn't.
yeah, like this is like the third attack now. So we skip past the second one, which was like I said, just pretty much the same thing. I think it might even happen in the same night.
Yeah.
But I'm laying there and I'm like, fucking help me. And I'm like, and I wake up and I'm like, fucking help me. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I said,
Yeah.
fucking help me.
It's like you
And I was
finally
mad as
break
fuck.
through that wall that's stopping it from
Yeah.
coming out of you. It's just like, fucking help me.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm mad as fuck now because I wake up and this like for 20 minutes in my mind I'm suffocating and I'm like about to die on
dude,
this
it's crazy.
pillow.
It's like you're fighting.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting
But
a
I-
battle.
But it's like everybody says they've seen these things. I've never felt that
crazy,
feeling
mate.
of someone else in the room, and I've never seen anything but what's in the room. And it's like, I don't know. It's fucking insane. Have
Nah.
you ever had any sleep
I
paralysis
was wondering.
ago?
Really?
Oh, you still get them then?
Actually, last week I did.
Oh wow,
It was,
I didn't even know
it was
that.
a different one too. It was like, dude, I literally woke up, thought it was my time to go to work, get fucking like panicking, you know, like, oh crap, I'm gonna be late, crap, and then like literally 2 seconds later, I was sweating so much, and then I realized it's 9 o'clock. I don't have to go to work until 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then and then wait, why am I up? It is 9 o'clock, Miguel. Go back to bed. You gotta get up at 12 o'clock.
Damn. This was 9 o'clock in the morning?
No,
Or,
PM.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, because you work the early shift.
Yeah.
Ah, that's weird. What time did you go to bed? You probably don't remember.
It was probably around 7:30, more likely.
Fuck, dude. That's a strange one.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen. Like
No.
I've woken up in the middle of the night and like gone to get something. Like I was like, I'm thirsty, but then by the time I get in the kitchen, I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah.
But like I've never heard of
I've
that's never
had
happened.
sleepwalking episodes before too.
Yeah, I mean it's
I've slept walking. Like I live out the things that I did before. Like my dad told me, I'll like go over to the door and I'll make sure it's locked, and I'll look out and check out my car, and then I'll go back to bed.
well, mine isn't even really sleepwalking. Like I'm fully aware. Like I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, I need something to drink,
Yeah.
and I'll go get something. But like in the midst of it, I'm still so half asleep.
You went
I'm
back
just
to
like,
sleep for a second.
Wait,
hey,
one
where
sec.
the fucking, what was I doing? Ollie's looking at me like, what are you doing up?
Yeah, I've done that. Going in the kitchen like 2 a.m, you find yourself you're eating yogurt and like granola bars, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here?
As far as I know, I've never actually slept walked.
Yeah.
But
But
I-
as far as I had the same thing you guys did too. I have now. I'm getting more to oh crap. I'm like I think it's panic mode right now. But
Yeah.
I have gotten those before.
Like the paralyzed feeling.
But see, but it happens to you often. Like, does it get easier? Like, if let's say it happened tonight, like, would you be aware of what's going on and you just be like, okay, I know what's happening. Like, I just gotta wait it out. Like, maybe observe. You might
middle.
learn something about it. You know what I mean?
half.
Really?
You're like there, but you're like not there.
It's just like your brain and your body's so confused at that moment
yeah.
that you can't even differ. Like, no matter what, you're gonna. These emotions are happening.
Yeah.
So
because it's essentially like your brain woke up, but it didn't wake up your body, because your brain is always going to be awake before your body, because your body doesn't work without your brain.
no.
So there's no possible way for your vision to work.
Well,
unless
your body works without your. Like, if you removed your brain, it wouldn't.
Yeah,
but you don't have to be conscious for your body
eyes
to work.
opening is your brain functioning, making your eyes open.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
not being able to see anything is the rest of your brain not working yet.
Yeah, it's consciousness and unconsciousness.
Yes, it's
your brain's
it's
working at both times. It's just you're not awake for it.
Yes, exactly. It's like a lucid dream, which I've still tried to do that. I've still tried to lucid dream, but I can't.
This actually reminds me of something I forgot all about. But my buddy Jeremy Rogers, JJ Rogers, he was on Western Jesus. He was the Lost episode.
Okay, I seen that one.
Bearded guy, looks like
Handsome
an Arab, but he's actually Italian. What's up, JJ? Miss you, buddy.
Shout out.
Sorry if that was
Number
insulting,
is-
but he looks like a fucking terrorist. But that likes to bow hunt. When I lived in Massillon, like 2011, 2012 for like a year or so. And he used to crash at my house all the fucking time on the floor, and I'd stay up late, and he would ass out like kind of fairly way before me. And I was just on my computer fucking around listening. This dude could sleep through a goddamn hurricane, by the way. Laying on the floor, like slightly in front of me in the corner.
Yeah.
Because it was a studio apartment. It was probably about the size of my kitchen and my living room together.
Okay. Yeah, I had
And,
like that.
And it was just one room. So I was sitting on my futon watching TV or listening to music and fucking around on my laptop. And he's like sleeping on his stomach on the floor. And then out of nowhere, at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he just wakes up and looks at me and starts saying something to me in a language I can't understand.
Yeah.
Like whether it's gibberish or like fucking Hebrew or
Some kind of Aramaic thing.
yeah, like Arabic or some shit. Maybe it's fucking Martian for all I know.
Right. Like another
he
signal was coming in.
saying something to me, and I know this, that he was saying something specific to me or trying to say something, because he said a series of gibberish or what words or noises.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him and just like, I said, what? And then he said the exact same series of noises. And I was like, dude, I'm not understanding you. And then he fucking just went and went back to sleep.
Wow.
It's like, what?
So
Right.
the thing that makes me think he was actually trying to speak something to me, some sort of language or something,
Yeah.
is because he didn't just go blah, 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 and then gabba, blah, 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 blah. He went blah, 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 blah. And then I said, what? And he went blah, 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 blah. Like he was actually trying to say something that had some sort of meaning again,
Yeah.
something he knows.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
What the
Yeah.
fuck was that? And I still don't know to this day. I said to him the next day, and he doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. He didn't remember it happening.
Yeah.
Nothing. What the fuck was that? Was
Right.
I talking to a past life or something?
Yeah, like a past
Was-
life,
like
a
a
personality
reincarnated
that's, like,
version of
hidden
like
in his brain or something.
yeah, because I mean, people go to hypnotists.
Yeah.
And I mean, not everybody's fucking lying when they say they go to a hypnotist and they put them under and some crazy shit. I mean, not everyone can be lying
Yeah.
on that. I mean, I've read books about this. It's really fucking interesting. But and people will come out and they'll go to people's past lives and stuff where they lived here or lived there, and people will go to this hypnotist because they went to Egypt, and when they looked at the fucking land and the pyramids and shit, they were just overcome with emotions that they've never felt before, as if they were home. Or they've been somewhere they've been waiting to be their whole life and shit. Like someplace that had a significant meaning to them that they had no idea about. Now, and then they'd go to a hypnotist to put them into what they call a past life regression, just to go into their conscious mind and
Yeah.
see, like, what the fuck was that all about? And your conscious mind is really a smart motherfucker. It's you. It's everything about you from every experience you've ever had, past lives and future. You know what I mean? It's weird the way they describe this shit, but it's fucking interesting.
That is interesting.
Now, am I talking to JJ who lived in fucking, old Palestine or something 2,000 years ago? Who just woke up, said something to me, and went back to sleep, and that wasn't JJ at all? You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
was
like he was
JJ.
Like, he was trying to get your help. He was trying to express, like, he was living out something that was happening at that point. Like, he woke up and was like, telling his partner something was
through
you
going on in his unconscious brain right there while he was sleeping, and he woke up in the middle of it, and
so that's insane.
I just became a part of it all of a sudden.
I've never experienced anything like that. Like,
Or
I spoke out in my dreams.
He's just woke up and was a little fucking retarded for a second. Like, you know what I mean? Because when
you were so fucked up, you were like, he was like, bro, give me a Coke, and you're like, and he's like, bro, really, I'm thirsty. He's like, and he's like, fuck it,
something,
yeah, right.
Because whatever he was saying, he really wanted me to know it, and he was upset when I just didn't get it.
Didn't understand it, yeah.
Like, he's like, it goes back to sleep. Like, he wasn't faking this.
Yeah,
you know what I
was
mean?
Legitimately mad.
This happened, but it made me think of something. When I was just out of high school, and this was a few years prior to that. Thanks for bringing this up, because I haven't thought about this in a long time. I used to always stay at my buddy Tyler's house, and he lived with this girlfriend. They lived on 4th Street in downtown Canton, and I used to get so fucked up, all kinds of shit, but drinking almost constantly, among other terrible things I shouldn't have been doing or putting in my body. But apparently I passed out way before they did. And the way their kitchen was set up is there was a couch, or not their kitchen, their living room is there was a couch on this wall, a couch on this wall, and a couch on this wall, because it was the time where we did a lot of unsavory things. There was a lot of people around us sometimes. And then the like TV over here. I was asleep on this couch. She was sitting on this couch. He was sitting on that couch. And it was just us three. I was passed the fuck out on my couch. Apparently, I woke up in the middle of the night and said some shit to them that was to them was gibberish. And then went back to sleep. They didn't tell me a bunch of details, but it made me think about that. And I'm like, wait a minute, that apparently happened to me at some point, too. Yeah. So, did that happen to me with JJ because of that prior point? Like, are we somehow linked in this unconscious world?
Like, you said something, you got angry about it.
Maybe I was saying something to JJ,
and he was replying
3 years prior or something,
like a message.
And he woke up in the middle of the night that night and was replying to it. But JJ wasn't there. I wasn't saying this to JJ, but like the fact that it happened with me and him, I want to I should bring this up to him, have him back on the podcast,
interlinked because
see if maybe another similar situation like that has happened to him since.
I wonder.
I've been putting my fucking hand in front of his
smacking Miguel.
But if I'm talking, it's not gonna be showing that anyway. Probably.
Yeah.
But wow, this really brought up a lot of stuff I haven't thought about in quite a few years since it happened.
Yeah, see, stuff like that has never happened to me. Like, I've woken up and said, like, my girlfriend has told me, she's like, you said something in your dream last night. I'm like, what? She's like, you didn't know what kind of meatballs you wanted to buy. But it would be meat. Like,
no, that's just you, Jesse. That's a question you would ask.
Like, nothing
what kind of meatballs?
Or should I just make them myself?
Right? Like, that's what happened, because in the dream, I'm at the store, like, should I get this kind of meatball? Or should I get this? And like, I'm telling this in my saying it out, and she's like, I don't fucking know.
These ones are fucking Swedish.
4 ounces? Is there a difference?
4 ounces?
Is it chocolate? Swedish chocolate
variant meatball? But yeah, like, nothing ever cool. Like, I've never said anything out loud in my dreams, but like, I've had a lot of dreams to where I'll see stuff, and this might be part of the sleep paralysis thing, because I'll be laying there. And I'll be frozen, just sitting there, and I'll be able to see everything.
You're always like in the.
Like, yeah,
you just turn into fucking Stephen Hawking.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Like, yeah, you'll be typing shit.
Yeah, right. But like, I'm in the.
Sorry, Stephen
I'm
Hawking.
sleeping on the couch, and I'm looking at the wall, and the wall has a hole in it now. And the only way I can describe this is the Crypt Keeper, and he's sitting there in his fucking rocking chair, and it's like zooming. Like, my eyes are starting to get more and more. Like, I'm able to see more and more, and there's just books upon books just piled up around him, and he's just rocking back, and he's reading
definitely
his book.
The Crypt Keeper then.
Yeah.
And he just looks over and he's like, and that's it.
What's up?
And I wake up.
She's like, oh.
And like,
Didn't
shit like
see
this
that.
has happened to me for years in my dreams. Like, some people can't remember their dreams. I remember these are dreams that I've had when I was 5, like 6, 7 years old. These are dreams that scarred me, and they have stayed with me.
Shit.
Like, there was one where I run into my room, and there's a red wagon and a bed. And that's all that was in my room. I had no toys. I had nothing else but a red wagon and a bed. And it was the motherfucker from Poltergeist. Pulls up in front of my door, and he's just standing there. And you know the white face, like, top hat, black hat that we talked about, but he has a complete white face. He has glasses on, and he's like... and I was too afraid to move. I was too
Jesus,
afraid to turn
dude.
around to see what was behind me.
You're dreaming horror flicks.
I am. I've had a dream where I go in the basement.
That's a nightmare. You know what I mean?
It is. It's definitely a nightmare, but it's like a nightmare that is so vivid that I'm living out these dreams. Like I'm living out these nightmares. Like they're not like some people say like they have a nightmare like, oh, I fell off a cliff and then we were in the mud. Like it's me. I walked to my room and I stood there and then all of a sudden I got froze.
See, my nightmares, they're never really like. There's only one dream I can remember that it was actually like a nightmare, like people describe.
Okay.
And it was there's this girl I watch on YouTube from time to time, and this is when I first started watching her a few years ago. Her name is Jenny Lorenzo. Hit me up, girl, if you're watching. But I think she's with the dude or whatever.
Okay.
But she reviews she's a show called Geekgasm. Aggressive Comics is the channel she does it on for like a comic shop. Anyway, for some reason, I was with her in my dream, good dream, up until later.
Yeah, right.
And we moved into this house or this apartment or something. But this house was fucking haunted. And this dream scared the shit out of me. Stuff was happening. I was seeing stuff. Like, it was really fucked up. That's the only dream I've ever had that was, or nightmare I've ever actually, that was actually like a nightmare.
Yeah, like a
people
nightmare.
describe. Other than that, like, any nightmarish dreams were kind of just like bad dreams. Like, they were emotionally terrifying.
Okay.
Like I'm looking for something, or like I can't find my girlfriend and I'm looking for her the whole fucking time. Turns out she was cheating on me or something. Or like some weird, like very realistic real world scenario.
Yeah.
Like I'm just distraught the whole time, or I'm in search of something and like I can't find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're like,
but it's never like there's a killer trying to get me or like monsters and like.
Yeah, see, it's weird because like they're not like, I guess not monsters, but they're like people. Like they almost look like it was just a pale faced person, like almost
Yeah,
like
a fucking David Lynch film.
Yeah, like exactly,
like a little man in the corner going, hello.
Like there was
and
another
just
one,
a
like this
midget.
one. This one would probably freak me out the most. This one, I can feel the water. Like I'm running through the basement. Like we went on this big ass like mystery machine type fucking hunt.
Dreams are pretty fucking vivid sometimes.
Because the reason is because the reason I knew it was a mystery machine type because we ended up in a van at the end of it. But I'm running through the water and we're in like a basement and somebody grabs me and I can feel him and I'm pulling and I can feel myself pulling in real life and it feels like someone's actually holding my hand and I'm actually feeling wet. Like my legs were wet, kind of like the fucking Wayne's World when he wakes up with sand in his toes. Kind of feel like I almost felt like I was gonna wake up in a pool of water.
Pull.
And I walk upstairs, and all of a sudden there was 5 fucking people in a van, and we just peel out. Like I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. There's a guy downstairs trying to grab me and shit. Let's get the fuck out of here. And this all led up to my most recent dream. Like that's why I mainly wanted to talk about this because this shit has me like, I want to do this. Like I want to go find this fucking house. Like I was with a group of 5 people, and I know one of them. I don't know the rest of them.
Okay.
And we go to this house, and this house is rumored to. And this is this is like a 12-hour dream. Like I slept for like a good 12 hours during this dream, so I don't know how long the dream could have been 5 minutes, but in my mind it was a whole day.
Gotcha.
So we go in the house, and like I'm crawling through different places, and like I realize I can't get I'm not fucking huge, so I can't get through this specific cavern.
Yeah,
it's in a house, so he crawls through, and he gets through, and we're searching. And I find this secret passage to a basement. And there's this, we go down in the basement and I'm like, it's rumored to have some kind of money here. And I open the door and there's a fucking $100,000 in the drawer and a bunch of gold.
Shit.
And so we're like, all right, fuck, there's got to be a safe here. And so I leave. I'm like, there's someone upstairs. Like I hear someone walking around. I'm like, there's someone upstairs. I'm going to leave. I leave. They come up to the house that I'm at. All of a sudden I duck down under the porch. The cops are bringing them up and the cops leave to go find me. And they're talking to me while the cops are searching for me. And I'm like looking over and I'm like, they don't fucking know I was with you because you got picked up when I left. Like they had no fucking clue I was there. So I'm just going to go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I just fucking left back to Cleveland with the $100,000 and all the gold and never went and got the safe.
You're not dreaming, you're living movies. There's a guy in another dimension writing your dreams.
You're right. Like that one movie with William not William Ferrell. What the fuck is
William Ferrell? Well, it could be Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. That's
but
what I meant.
yeah, no.
Could be William Ferrell.
What the fuck was that? That was a weird but kind of good movie.
Yeah, that was
Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah. The lady was the weird thing was that the lady actually lived in the world in which he was in, which was strange.
Yeah, that was really weird. She was writing because he found her and was like, "Stop writing this fucking book," and she was like, "Well, you're gonna die at the end."
That actually, there's the movie. I love it. 2012, I think, is when it came out. I was just talking about it the other day because I saw a movie with the same chick in it.
Okay.
But the chick I'm referring to, her name is Zoe Kazan. She wrote this movie, but it's called Ruby Sparks. You ever heard of it?
No.
No, I haven't.
All right. Basically, this guy, he's a writer. He discovers that he starts writing a story about his dream girl, and he discovers that by doing that, he actually wrote her into existence. He wakes up the next day, and she's in his house cooking him breakfast and shit. And he's like, what the fuck? And like his brother doesn't believe him. He shows his brother, like, look. He goes upstairs, he types. The fucking girl starts speaking Spanish, or starts speaking French. And they go down there, and they start talking to her, and she's speaking to him fucking in French. But they can't understand, but she can't not speak French, so they go back up there. He's like, she starts speaking in English again. They go back down there, and his brother's just like, holy shit, like laughing, like, no fucking way.
That's cool.
But it reminds me of that movie. And,
yeah. I mean, there could be shit with like talking about past lives and shit. I could just be living because there was some that I feel like there was one that like made me think of that. Like, what was it? The Jacket, that movie where he like put on a jacket and they put him in a like one of those things at the morgue, and he would go and live someone else's life.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen.
You've never seen that movie? Okay, I'm pretty sure it's called The Jacket. Have you seen it?
It might be something different, but I know what you're talking about.
Because there was another movie I've seen
cool,
similar
though.
to that, where they would like sit on the other side of the wall, like writing shit down, while the one person was like living on another side. There's a bunch of crazy movies.
Isn't Ryan Reynolds?
Actually, that might have been The Dream.
Ryan Reynolds?
No, it wasn't Ryan Reynolds. This is way older than Ryan Reynolds. This was like 1994.
Like a movie like
it was like this guy. If you've seen his face, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's been in a lot of movies.
I'll have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's called The Jacket.
The name sounds familiar, though.
He would go over and live in a parallel universe. He would live out someone else's life and keep coming back and forth. And like I had a dream like that, but what I was doing
Did he whip his hair back and forth?
He did whip his hair back and forth. I was living on the outside of the wall, and I was writing down like what they were doing. Like I would like go into the other world, but I wouldn't play out that person. I would just be writing like notes, and then I would come back to this world, and I would wake up. And every time I went into this dream, it was like a 2 or 3 time dream that I was writing this person's life down.
Now I'm changing my hypothesis. You're actually like a problem solver in like another world.
I want your dreams. You can have mine, man. God dang.
You're like, fuck the real world. Your dreams are like way more entertaining.
That's why I love the dream state.
You're going to start like waking up and just singing that song from Aladdin. A whole new world.
A whole new world.
That was fucking beautiful, guys. I'm so glad I
We
got that.
just break out into song and start dancing and shit. The end of the podcast, like the end of a Family Guy episode.
Well, technically, that's the ending because we're well over an hour.
Okay,
What's that look? I can't really see it.
It says 1:41, so we're pretty much on
Yeah.
where we were before.
Yeah, not only that, but
I mean, that's all I got.
Not much longer than 2 hours this shit'll record right
Yeah.
now with the high quality video.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I mean, that's all I had anyways, unless Miguel wanted to close.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you were quieter than I was one. But no, I mean, you got some shit in there, but you don't have to come back, buddy. Like,
Yeah, you will.
You,
I'll follow up.
we
Well,
broke
hell.
your cherry here. Like, you'll be good to go next time. I know, that was
Cut
a
your
weird way of
umbilical
putting
cord.
it. But thanks for coming, Miggy.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Is there anything you want to get out there before we go?
I'll say it. Fuck Donald Trump. That's what he wants to say.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, you start talking about politics on the internet, you're gonna hear it from people.
Right, you really will. That's how we get comments on here. Fuck Donald Trump.
I don't care either way, really.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm just joking.
they're all fucking assholes.
Oh yeah, all the politics. But yeah,
You gotta admit though, the guy's got some fucking balls.
he does.
He's got a fucking big orange set on him. Kind of looks like your microphone.
It
It's so
does.
orange.
I'm actually holding
Actually,
one
it's probably quite pale.
of
down
Donald
there.
Trump's
I'm sure it
nuts
doesn't see a
right
lot of
now in
sun.
my hand.
No, he brought the special people that tans down.
37% of America's only listening to us on audio, and they think I'm holding Donald Trump's nut right now.
I'm sure they don't.
They probably don't.
All right, and until next time, this was the Buncha Podheads Podcast with a very special guest, Miguel.
Well,
Good
hell.
old Miggy. Well, Miguel. Look for the Well Hell Miguel shirts.
Well, hell.
MattArcher.threadless.com. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. All the podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher. You can probably still listen to them on Bandcamp, but they're not going to be updated on there anymore.
Okay.
It's much easier just to do it
Just
through
do Stitcher
podcasting apps. Like,
Okay,
If
cool.
you have an iPhone, it's automatically on.
Yeah, I've
it.
actually somebody asked me how to get the link, and it's as easy as going to iTunes and looking up.
Just go
either
to the
Matt
iTunes,
Archer Media or a bunch of podheads.
iTunes store, go to the podcast part, and just type in bunch of podheads.
Because he said the link wasn't in
Jam
the
Up.
description last time, and I'm like, you literally just have to go to the. I actually did it for him, but the reason I couldn't do it.
I didn't. Well, yeah, it's really hard to put a link straight to it.
Yeah,
you have to search it in the thing. Like, I mean, there's links at the top of the YouTube channel, like up here.
Yeah, like there's ways to get there, but it's as easy as going on the actual. The only reason it was is because he didn't look it up, and he didn't like.
Well, even if you click these links, like for instance, look, here's iTunes. It takes you to someday.
See, I always use
takes you
YouTube.
to Jam Up. Like you can't.
YouTube
There's
on my
not like
phone.
a Matt Archer page on iTunes. There's a page for each individual podcast. So like, unless I'm gonna put like 6 fucking iTunes icons up there, and you don't know which one's what, like, and then if you click on Stitcher,
so I've not been to Stitcher yet.
it takes you to Jay and Mark. So it doesn't even take you to our podcast,
Okay.
but it takes you to Stitcher, and then you could search for our podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I haven't been to Stitcher, but either way, it's Matt Archer Media, bunch of podheads.
Stitcher's actually an app you can download on your phone. And you
Okay.
can just stream the podcast. You don't have to download them on iTunes.
That's-
they download them for you.
That's what he
So
wanted.
you can listen to them when you don't have Wi-Fi or data or anything.
Because we have a driver from work that listens to us now, and it's easier for him to listen to the audio.
Nice. Thanks
Oh,
for listening.
man.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but hey-o.
Yeah.
Hey-o, I was Jesse.
Well, I was Miguel.
Apparently he's a Southern Belle.
I guess so.
Bell. Yes,
And,
I am.
This is Mark. Until next time, keep, fleshlight. Fuck it.
Fleshlight, fuck it.
Fleshlight. Fuck the shit out of it.